Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How's it going tonight? How is it going tonight? We've got some topics to explore. I suppose we'll do that. One of those topics is a long-standing case that I've been covering on this channel for quite a while. It is the case of Vic Mignogna. Vic Mignogna is was an anime voice actor, not really so much anymore due to what happened. There was a Me Too campaign against him and he was canceled. Most of you know this already. If you're here, you know this. That being said, he brought suit against his accusers. He lost that suit in a pretrial anti-slap motion, and it has since been on appeal. I want to quickly let people know that it is still on appeal. There has been no change in the status of this case from the court, nor any notice from the court at all. There is an update in this case, but don't go down the road just yet. It is just an update from the lawyers for Monica Rial and Ron Toye. And this update largely means very, very little. What I personally think, and I'll reiterate this as we get into the point, is that I believe they are just simply looking for a way to remind the judges that there's a pending case without pissing off the judges. So we will, however, look at what their letter is, what it says, what they're referencing, what their request is, and we'll take a peek and we'll evaluate it the way we do everything. No, not more Lemoyne, because remember, Lemoyne is not actually on the appeal. Jeffrey Hellberger is on the appeal. So we'll be talking about that. There's other stuff to talk about as well. We'll see how long we're going to go. Curse my name for saying I don't know if we'll do a full stream tonight. I started covering a trial today, and the trial is off to a rough start, a little boring. Again, some of these people, these lawyers, are out here making dramatic stories into boring court proceedings, and it's very, very breaded. And it makes me sad. So the trial I'm covering right now is the trial of Billy Ray Turner, something like that. Is that it? And if you got three names, you're probably guilty of whatever it is. And he seems to be guilty of whatever it is. But he is accused of conspiring and making come about the murder of an NBA player, former NBA player. He actually got, he was pretty good NBA player, really good draft pick or whatever. He got a lot less good when a bunch of bullets entered his body and he died in the field. His blocking game was not on point after that. And he really sucked from the three-point line. It was really embarrassing for him, but he's been dead now for 12 years. And every single one of those years, his stats have been abysmal. So with that, this should be a more interesting case. The audio is terrible. The lawyers are slow, and it's mildly demoralizing to me personally, which, if we're being honest here, my feelings about the case are the most important aspect of this case. So what if a man died? No skin off my neck. I don't give a shit. So what if so what if there was like a murder plot that involves all these people and drama and payouts and all this stuff? Doesn't bother me. What matters to me is, am I entertained watching a live stream of the trial? And I'm not sure if I am yet. But the good news about this trial is that it starts at 10 a.m. Central Time. So it's not super early streams, right? None of these 7:30 a.m. Central Time streams like the Curtis Reeves trial. Uh, not even 9 a.m., right? It goes all the way to 10. Today, it actually took them till about 11 to get started. So even though I had casually slept, my point was actually maybe I'll start a little later and play catch up on the breaks. But turns out I didn't miss anything because they didn't get started till 11. Don't know why. I'm sure there's a joke about the time that was that was taken for that stream to start. But that being, don't say not even any racism. There was one hard R N word today. There was one hard R N word. But that being said, we're gonna see how that goes. I may completely abandon that trial. I may. The opening statements were almost interesting. The lead attorney for the prosecution, the state prosecutor, looked like he had just been laid off by his wife, who also divorced him. And he had even less energy than that. Right? Uh it was really bad. It was a really pathetic opening statement. He actually should be embarrassed for himself. I think he was trying to take like a somber attitude. This man has been dead for 12 years. You don't need to do this. You don't need to act like, oh, he died yesterday, and I'm going to tell you about the face of a killer. How about you just tell me about the face of a killer? This isn't like an impassioned murder that needs sugarcoating. This is a man who accepted money from another man's ex-wife to murder him. Like that's cold, ruthless, and you know it wasn't that much money. That's the problem. This is a conspiracy to murder that happened 12 years ago. Tell me the damn story. Don't try and make it dramatic and somber, because it isn't anymore. The emotions in this case are colder than the corpse. Or they should be. This guy is trying to make it all dramatic. Very, very terrible. So, anyway, I'm watching along with that trial. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll pick up. Maybe the audio will get better. I don't have high hopes, but I want to be surprised. So, that's what's going on in the daytime show. We're not going to talk too much about it over here on the nighttime show, but I just wanted to let people know what's going on. If you need something to watch during the day, we still did put together a pretty decent little live stream over there, and it was fun. It was fun. But I'm certainly looking for a more interesting trial to cover than this one. And hopefully something soon. Johnny Depp is on the menu. We may have a live stream or two prepping for the Johnny Depp trial. I don't know. I don't know if I'm not 100% sure I'm going to cover it. I think both Dumpster Bros or the Dumpster Defenders trials have been consolidated into one that's in August. So I don't think there's going to be a Depp conflict with the Dumpster Defenders. That was one of the concerns I had with covering the Depp trial, because it's 6 weeks and that would have overlapped into the trial of the Dumpster Defender's son. But I believe now the judge has allowed their trials to be combined. Still trying to get full confirmation, but it sounds like that's going to be in August. It's a long fucking way. Long fucking way away. Trent Michaels, Chris Chan's trials, his hearings have been closed door and completely inaccessible to the public. So if Chris Chan's trial is televised, I'd probably stop everything to cover it. legitimately think it'll be the greatest, one of the greatest spectacles on earth, and we'll probably not get to see it. But Cynthia Thomas says Alita is doing the depth. Yeah, I believe she is. And I think I might also, not to compete with her in any way. And I would fully encourage people to go watch her trial coverage over mine. But this is a trial that is kind of right in a central theme of this channel over the past couple years. Discuss Depp a little bit in some of the live streams. People have been asking me to cover that trial since it started. And so I think I might be covering it again. If people feel at all conflicted over whose live stream to watch, go watch Legal Bites' live stream. I have a feeling we're going to have two different audiences for that live stream that'll be able to just go ahead and make both of our streams excellent. And I have a feeling there will be two completely different tones to those live streams as well. So there will be a variety of avenues for entertainment. So I'm not 100% on it, but if that's the case, that would be my opinion and suggestion about it. So with that said, on to tonight. We'll be covering the Vic thing. I believe there's updates on Melinda. We've got a Canadian trucker convoy Bitcoin payment update. And if you notice, my mood is not the best right now. That has something to do with it. I always hate having to do a crypto black pill stream, but we're going to have to do a little bit of crypto black pilling and tits calming for crypto bros because, well, there's the crypto fantasy, which is wonderful. And I love the cryptotopia and I want it to be. But then there's reality, which always seems to come in and fuck it up. And no matter what you say, people will tell you over and over that crypto doesn't participate in reality. It's somehow removed from everything. But it turns out it's never that simple. But we'll talk about it. The black pilling and a little bit of white pilling on crypto. So there's that. That's got me down. I was just reading this story. It's got me a little down. Gonna say it. There was something else I was thinking about talking about, but I don't remember. Does anything even matter anymore? You know what really matters? 10 a.m. start time tomorrow means Elden Ring tonight after the stream. Yeah. That's what I'm excited for. We're going to go over on Twitch. We're going to play some Elden Ringu and see if we can find an even bigger hammer. That's the goal I'm on right now. I know there are bigger hammers in Elden Ring, and I want to go find them. So that is I am, yeah, you're right. I am definitely not suicidal. I just want to play some Elden Ring.
I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say. Okay. I am not suicidal. Okay? I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I am not suicidal. Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. So that being said, I did see someone ask if I did my job and called Anime Matsuri. I have reached out to them. You know, communication takes two ways, so hopefully we'll get some feedback on things very soon. And that's all. It's all in the works. But Exploiters found a way to become invincible in Elden Ring. So have I. It's called dodge. Just dodge like a man. But okay, anyway, let's hit this. There's an early super chat here from Tall Skinny Geek. Says, I have no hype for the Vic update, and I promised myself I wouldn't cry because I'm not hyped. 0% hype over here. Little curious though. Yeah, and again, there's no reason to be hyped. I tried to word things neutrally, but there's nothing new. Like there's nothing has happened from the court. It's not a Thursday for one, so the decision couldn't have come out. And no decision on the case would have come out because it's not a Thursday. So it's just there's an update from one of the lawyers for one of the defendants who has asked the court to take notice of an order in a different case, and we'll take a look at it and see. Not so sure that they have the best grasp or the best citation. And I really think their main goal is just to draw the attention of the appeals court back to this case. It's been pending for a long time. I think that's the main thing that they're looking for. Someone, I can't see who because of how YouTube organizes this shit, and I can't get rid of the fucking thing blocking the name. Someone says, I'm a little kettle and your nose is large enough to change local gravity. That sounds like a Dragon's Treasure chat, but I can't actually tell. Thanks, YouTube. Doing your fucking job! So there's that. Pride or Honesty just says, yes. Cool. Sounds good. Franco Miranda says, more like Jeffrey Hellsberg. Wasn't he the lawyer who acted exceptional and yelled at Judge Shupp during the fees hearing? Yes. He sure has a weird attachment to net worths. Yeah, he is that guy. Oh, it was Biden. Sorry, Biden. So on the member chats, here's the thing. Do you want to see? I'll just show you. This is how we do it. On the member chats here. So here's the YouTube list of super chats, right? It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's a great system. And here's all the stream info. But on the member chats, they are the ones in dark green here. And these regular super chats will all show up in the monetization tab if you lose them from the super chat tab. You can go back here and see all the super chats that came in from the time I pulled this up. Notice these green ones are not on there because they don't have a dollar amount attached to them. So when you combine that with, for some fucking reason, the pinned comment from C. Goody needs to be in the super chat tab because YouTube is retarded, it blocks off the name up here. So when you get the weird instance where there is a member chat plus a pinned comment and the member chat is the first thing on the page, you can't see the name. And I can't go find it. There is not a different way to find this thing. So good job, YouTube. Smart. Why you would pin a comment from the chat in the super chat archive section doesn't make any sense. But hey, you do you. No, Digital Bear, if you click the 3 dots on the right, it gives you the same menu as the other thing. And you can remove the pinned comment, but it doesn't always remove it from this stream. I know you guys are going to tell me how to do it, but I do this every day. Like I literally every day do this. And this is just a stupid artifact of the thing. And so one way to get rid of it after you remove the pinned comment, which won't remove from this window, is to then refresh it. And then you lose all the super chats that are nicely archived. Then you have to go back to the much less organized page. It's dumb. It's stupid. inspect the element and check what's there in the HTML code. No. I'm not going to inspect the element. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. You stop. Let's see. There's not even inspect. You can't right click and inspect element on this. So good luck. Oh, wait, there it is. There's inspect. Fucking hell. Never mind. I clicked refresh, which was right next to inspect, and now I lost it. Fuck you guys. I hate you all. Here we go. Here's the inspect element for the next one because it happened to do it to another one. Here, check this out. Now I'll show you. And I'll show you why you don't do this on a live stream. Because it says, so here's the thing. Hey, how about that? I made a goal, lol. That's this right here. What's it says? Header scope, live chat membership item, renderer. It's not telling me what the name is in there. Yep. Not actually finding the name that's in there. So there you go. It doesn't show it on any of these. And this would take way too long. And is stupid. So there's that issue too. But it's not obviously in here. So yeah. Yeah, Alt F4 is actually the better option. Deleting system 32. I'm having an evening. Resizing the window, tried that. Tried zooming in and out. Doesn't change it. Can you drag the top window? No. What top window? No. No is the answer. Sometimes big companies just have a stupid system. Like sometimes they just have that. Okay? Sometimes that's what's there.
No shit.
No shit.
No shit.
No shit. Can you pop up chat? Nope, not on this one. So now I have to go back. Get the other super chats. What is the meanest a judge has ever been to me? Judges aren't typically mean to me. They'll be mean to my clients. That's the meanest a judge can be to you anyway. Try highlighting the text of the chat underneath the pinned comment, then copy font. No. Here we go. Becky Hansen says, my mother-in-law, Lisa Hansen, got out of jail and is now running for District 23rd Senate in Minnesota. How's that for a comeback? Hey, that's the Albert Lee lady who is sentenced to 90 days in jail for daring to open her restaurant under a COVID restriction, for daring to try and keep her business open and her livelihood intact. So there you go. Have you tried telling chat to fuck off? I have. Ricada used fuck off. It was not very effective. Oh. Let's see. Kimbo Nice says, would you ever represent a kid diddler? kind of did for one hearing. It was a guilty plea. That's about it. I'm not really interested in doing that defense case. It's not for me. Not for me. Other people can deal with that. Franco Miranda, read that one. Clown World says, get Umbrella Guy for the Depp trial. He's been on that shit hard, so it will probably help to have him on for that. Well, Tug and I are definitely going to do some sort of show together before the trial, kind of running down the issues in the case and what's been going on. I'm not sure if we'll do that on my channel or his channel, but we'll do something with that. And then Tug will probably be invited to join in. I think here's the thing with the Depp trial. The Depp trial is going to be 6 weeks long. That's a lot of coverage. That's a lot of time to invest. And a lot of people can't do that 9 to 5 every day for 6 weeks. In fact, I don't know if I can do every day. In fact, I think there's one day that I'm going to have trouble with, which is the day after Mother's Day. So we'll have to see how that goes. But it's anticipated to be a 6-week trial, which is what? 30 days of streaming every day, 9 to 5. So that's a tall order. I'm looking at it going, shit. So we'll figure. B-Man says me and Legal Bite should trade off. Here's the hesitation I have with that. Trading off doesn't work. People are not good at bouncing between streams. I know you are. I know you are good at bouncing between streams, but I'll tell you largely it's not effective. The much more effective way to do it is to have both people streaming the entire time, because each of them will then get promoted by YouTube, because each of them will have basically 2 straight weeks of consistent coverage of the same topic at the same time every single day. And the algorithm will finally figure it out and go, oh, okay. And they'll start delivering that content to anybody who's ever breathed about Johnny Depp. That's just a better way to do it. It's much more effective. People are very, very bad at bouncing between streams. So, but like I said, it's not 100% finalized. And I'm certainly not trying to step on anyone's toes or anything else. But that is my current thoughts on it. So that, like I said, I think there would be a plenty of distinction between people who would want to watch my coverage of Johnny Depp, which will involve all sorts of jokes and crudity, versus Legal Bites' coverage of Johnny Depp, which will be distinctly characteristic of Legal Bites. So anyway, next, Christine Hansopoulos says, are you and Lady Raggeds coming to Anime Matsuri? Yes, I hope so. I want to buy you both shots again, if I may. It was a highlight of my trip. Yes, we will be there. Both of us, outside of something, crazy and unforeseen happening, we will both be there. And I'm looking forward to it very much. Ed says, I recently came into a bit of money. My employer decided to give me a bonus. If you had between $1,000 and $9,000 to spend on a Freedom launcher, what would you pick? Well, my next Freedom launcher purchase is hopefully coming sometime soon. Probably a Benelli over under clay pigeon shotgun, trap shooting shotgun. I don't know if you can say trap shooting anymore, because I think that's a hate crime. But that's going to be my next Freedom launcher purchase, and I think those run about $1,500. I don't know that I would spend $9,000 on a gun. Personally, I'm just not, like, I love guns. I think they're cool as shit. I don't get into shooting them enough to justify that kind of purchase. So that's my current idea. As for you, man, I don't know. What do you want? What do you have? Buy something cool. You're going to have to spend half that on ammo, though. Howdy Doodly Champion, the Diddly Doodler, says, check your DMs. I sent you some news on Tim Pool's bomb threat incident. Yeah, I heard that they've now gone from swatting to bomb squads. And the amazing thing is that people keep, I think the cops keep coming out, right? Let's see. Okay. Oh, another thing we're going to talk about is another thing we're going to talk about is Jack Murphy. And tonight, and we're going to borrow some of the quarterings video for it. Damn it. Howdy Doodly Champion, the Diddly Doodler. Why would you send this to me? Here I am thinking you're serious about the bomb threat. No, it's just a picture of Jack's asshole. But yeah, we're going to talk about Jack Murphy tonight too. Because Jack Murphy's been canceled again. And if you don't understand by now the formula he's trying to invoke, it's it's Democrat to deplorable 2.0 because he has nothing else. Well, I was a Democrat and now I'm a good guy. I was a Democrat and now I'm a good guy. I was a Democrat. Read my book, please. Just please read the book. I was a Democrat and now I'm a good guy. Okay, anyway. The people canceled me. Bro. Did you guys see when he claimed that his beard was naturally colored exactly the way it is? Did you guys see? I just woke up one morning and it was just like this. He actually said that. That one day he went to bed, presumably with an all black brown beard. And he woke up the next day and it was just like that, just with the gray and the black in the middle. Like just happened. I went to bed, I woke up and it was like it. Just one day. Just one morning I woke up and it was like that naturally. Bitch, please. Why do you do this? Why do people do this? Why are you lying about this? It doesn't make any sense. I like the look of it. My girlfriend's boyfriend likes the look of it. Just say it. Just say it. Who cares? People like make fun of me. They're like, did you dye your beard? It's like, no, it's probably just dirty or whatever. I probably just need a shower. Like I wouldn't dye my hair or beard because Lady Rackets likes gray hair. I'm like stressing myself out every day. I'm like, go gray. Fucking just get a gray. Just one. So it's like for me, it'd be great. I'd go gray in a heartbeat. I don't care about any of this. I wore a tank top the other day. There's much concern on the internet about me wearing a tank top on Flashcast. Very much speculation. Let me clear the air. This is very important. This is very big news. So I gotta come clean on it. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but I am not in shape. I've been trying to hide this for a very long time, but I am a 40-year-old man with little girl shoulders. I've been wearing shoulder pads. I use video effects to bulk them up. Like I sit around like this so you can't tell. I only have my arms like this so you can never actually see my shoulder definition. I mean, of course, then it exposed that I also have noodly fucking baby arms. I've only had these for 40 years. But the other day I was exposed. I was exposed because I wore a tank top. Very embarrassing for me. I'm probably going to go eat razor blades right after this, actually. Because now my lies to the world have been shown. That yes, I have small shoulders and little weak ass arms that I've had pretty much since getting out of college. I was mildly in shape at the end of college. I was in decent shape at the end of high school. And mildly in shape at the end of college. And then it's been downhill from there. And over the past 5 years, 6 years now, since developing my heat allergy, exercise has been almost non-existent because it's extremely uncomfortable. And I'm also lazy and also busy. All of those things combined mean, yeah, it's not high on my priority list. So I wore a tank top and exposed, Brigada Law exposed. I mean, forget that I used to wear a tank top basically every night on Twitch. But I've been trying to bury that past. I called Jack Murphy's people, and they were actually able to successfully put it down. They put it down. Like, unlike Jack, I mean, they must have been trolling him. They're like, we'll leave a couple of these Chatterbait videos up there, especially ones where his ass is getting licked. Let's keep those up and get rid of all the non-nude ones because that'll be funny. But for me, because they like me, because they're like, yeah, fuck that guy. They actually deleted all my old Twitch streams that had me in a tank top. So I was covered. I was safe. Everything was fine until Flashcast. I slipped up. The one flaw in my plan. There's a problem when you want to make fun of someone. That person has to actually be affected by the fun making. But if I call me a fat and weak piece of shit all the time, it's not going to help when you do. It's like you're not teaching me or mocking me in any way that I don't already do. And I look at me more than anybody else on the planet because I see me right there. I'm looking at this face and these shoulders every single night for hours a night, and days like today for 7 hours during the day. You can't do it. You can't, like, it's not going to be very effective. The funny thing is, it bothers the Twitter people so much to call them fat because they think they aren't. They think they're not fat. They think that their morbid obesity, where lard and diabetes drips off of them in equal measure, they think that's okay. They think that is, well, it's glandular. No, you're fat. You won't stop eating and you won't start moving. It's not glandular. It's nothing else. And there's a ton of fat people out there who go, and that's fine. Bravo. But and that's fine needs to apply when someone calls you fat also, or else you're lying to you. And you should never lie to you about who you are. Shouldn't lie to anybody about it, but certainly not to yourself. Because if you do, and you're on the internet, it's going to tear you up. It's going to tear you up when you're a fat opera singer with your jelly roll elbow, or well, tricep fat eating your elbow. Like, that's going to bother you every time someone brings it up. And it does. Every time someone brings it up. But for me, please make fun of me. I already know. It's okay. It's not a surprise. I don't have a reason to lie to me. These people are so weird. They're so weird. I don't get it. I'm never going to get, but see, this is that level of thinking. And this is why Jack was broken by what happened, right? It was forecast. I didn't know until recently. It was from the same interview where he said his beard was that way naturally one morning. I wish I would have known that back then. That's all you need to know about Jack Murphy. He was willing to lie to himself about his branded image and lie publicly about it for zero reason. There's no benefit in him saying, no, I just look this way naturally. Nobody looks that way naturally. And certainly not in one day, because you don't just go gray on long beard hair. Doesn't work that way. It's not how beard hair works. All right. Anyway, over on Odyssey, we've got a chat that says, Nick, Odyssey from Polly Unsaturated. So thank you. Speaking of poly unsaturated, that's well, lots of saturated fats on Twitter, we'll say. Next. MKEOD says, Nick, check your Twitter DMs. Might be coming through your area and want to buy you lunch. Won't make fun of your enormous nose, unlike some people. MKEOD, I think I saw your tweet, your DM, but I will get back to you on that. All depends on timing. Wolfgang Deo says, here's tech advice you asked for on Super Chats. Thank you. Gunblade Knight says, I'm surprised you can even see anything on that screen with that schnoz of yours. I've learned to set up mirrors over here and over here that I can look to them and they reflect where my screen is. So Dex Luther says Ricada Law's VCR also flashes 12. It does. It does. Wolfgang Deo says you use inspect element to delete the pinned message. Maybe you do, but I don't. Next we've got D Dotson says D Dotson 45 says don't normally send these, but I had to hook up Uncivil because he got railed by YouTube, so I got to hook up my boy Nicky Raggeds too. Thanks for the awesome entertainment. Hey, thank you, D Dotson. Really appreciate that. Uncivil should be getting fixed, and I don't mean neutered. I mean fixed. His channel restored. I'm thinking that that's going to be happening soon. I believe he updated earlier that the hijacking team had reviewed his form and was working on it. So hopefully it will be quicker rather than longer. Russell Coaster says, hey, Nick, you should come to Anime Central this year. It's May 19th to 23rd. We'd love to buy you a drink and maybe dinner. Where's Anime Central? I have no idea. I don't know if I can make it. In a Rut says, leave it to Tug. Just hit the highlights. He has been on this from the start. Tug's not going to be able to do 6 weeks of live streaming, I'm pretty sure. I think that's the issue. Uncivil Law Shorts wants to know if you write off your alcohol for tax purposes. I have not done that to date. I have strongly considered it, but I don't keep the receipts. So, the Great Cornholio says, get out and run, fatty. I love to run. I really do. I tried to get some running in last year, but it didn't work out well. Isaac Bowles says Trump won the 2020 election. That's all. God damn it. That was a super chat. Well, a member chat, YouTube, which, by the way, you didn't confer with me on allowing members to have free chats. So that's YouTube's fault. Of course, Joe Biden is the properly constitutionally elected president of the United States in 2020. And all Trump lovers can hashtag get wrecked because YouTube requires me to say that. So it literally says that YouTube has, their policy has been updated. And it says, by the way, when the election is mentioned at all, ever, you have to also say, by the way, Trump lovers hashtag get wrecked. It's a rule. It's a rule. I don't know. I don't know why they would do that, but that's what they wrote in their rules. But thank you, Isaac. Franco Miranda says, are you planning to talk about Duncan retracting his allegations against Damon Milstein on his own and not silenced or bullied in doing so? Yeah, probably. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. And I'm going to do this one because I saw it and it's on principle. Just too lazy. Just lazy. Just too lazy. Just too lazy. Says, been having a rough week. Could use some words of encouragement, sir. P.S. Thanks for your awesome content. Look, man, should we do this with some liquor? Let's do this with some liquor. Lagavulin 11. I've got like a shot of it left. Ranos 1, 2, 3. Then fucking leave. Go. No one will stop you. And to answer your question, no. Now I won't talk about Vic ever. There. I mean, when you're gone, I will, but until then, no. So anyway, Just the Lazy says, back to this. Been having a rough week. Could use some words of encouragement, sir. P.S. Thanks for your awesome content. Man, everybody has a rough day, a rough week, a rough month, rough year, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Here's the encouragement I have for you. It's you. It's you. And I know you may, I don't know you, but you may call yourself lazy. You may call yourself inept or incapable, but you're not. And the fact that you're hard on yourself about things shows that you're not. If you were apathetic towards yourself, it'd be worse. But you're not apathetic. You're negative because you know you are better and can do better. So, challenge time, buddy. Buck up and fucking do better. Work on yourself, work on a hobby. One of those two things. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling out, when you have a bad week, go to your easy wins. You know what they are. It's a game that you like. It's a hobby that you have. It's building something cool that you can build. It's going out and chopping a tree down because that's awesome. It's going up, beating up a raccoon. Who fucking cares? Go do what you do for your easy win until things get better. That's what the easy wins are there for. That's what the easy wins are there for. But it's all on you and it's all in you anyway. And that's why you're having a bad week, is because you know that there's a good week coming. So go fucking find it, man. You can do it. Cheers. All right. Tyrannagas says, Richards, yeah, so we here at YouTube are going to roll out member milestone chats. Yeah, so I hope you got that memo. Anyhow, stay wrecked. All right, here we go. A-Wig says it is spending an hour rambling while people wait for a point to emerge. Well, unfortunately, I'm not super interested in that. Not really interested in delivering a point that one person is waiting for. Watch a clip later. I don't care. Everybody gets to clip this channel anyway. This is the way it goes. Unfortunately, you're at my awful mercy. And it's great for me to do that. It's great for me because I'm going to do, and bitching about it is only making this take longer. That's the even funnier part, because how do people forget I am an asshole? Always have been, always will be. AWM Fishing and Gaming says, take my government stolen money reimbursement. Love the content, helps me get through the workday. Hope you have Larry Correa on again. Was a great live stream. I agree. It was a great live stream, and I will have him on again at some point. I'll have to figure out a topic. But okay, let me get some shit pulled up here. I don't know how people have not figured this out by now. All right. So we've got this letter in the Vic case. Check the latest super chat. There's a couple of them. Yeah, I'll read these. Dylan Stark says, today's my anniversary with my wife who has cancer. Can we drink to her health? Yeah, Dylan, man. That's your companion, your friend, your confidant. And the fact that she's afflicted has got to be weighing on both of you heavily. And that ailment, that illness, that will take away some of her strength. But that's why you're there. You're there to be with her. You're there to support her when it makes it a little bit harder for her to support herself. So cheers for being the guy who does that. And may she get healthy very soon. And then 82 says, can I get a toast? No particular reason. Come up with one. You have to. 82 for quintessentially pissing off like 12 people in the chat right now. That was a beautifully timed super chat. It really was. Cheers to you, good sir. You are also an asshole. Okay, let's I've got this pulled up now. Here we go. Still have 8 minutes. Yeah, I that's true. But now I have to subvert expectations again. It's the double reverse. So this is filed on March 11th, which is a couple days ago. This is a Wick Phillips letter from Jeffrey W. Hellberg Jr. R.E. Manana versus Funimation Productions et al. Dear Miss Spisak. That's Deborah Spisak, clerk of the court for the Court of Appeals. This letter is to notify the panel in the referenced appellate proceeding of a relevant memorandum opinion from a different panel of this court that was issued after the briefing in the referenced appellate proceeding was closed and after this case was submitted. The briefing in this appeal, so here we go. This is one of your hints that this is what they're after. Briefing in this appeal was closed on July 9th, and the case was submitted without oral arguments on September 22nd of 2020. So we're coming up on a year and a half since, actually over a year and a half since submission, and we're coming up towards that year and a half since the briefing was closed, and coming up on a year and a half since submission. Submission is where the court takes all the documents that are there and decides the case. And then they write their opinions. Okay, so it's been a while. That's their little call out. So then they're saying Asta Partners LLC versus Palaniswamy, which sounds very Indian, dot Indian. While the court in Asta Partners reversed and remanded the trial court's attorney's fees award following a bench trial on the merits, the analysis undertaken in Asta Partners is relevant to the referenced cross appeal, which concerns the trial court's failure to correctly calculate the award attorney's fees as to each, or calculate and award attorney's fees as to each defendant following dismissal under the TCPA, which is weird because I don't think this is a TCPA case, but we're going to pull it up because they have a specific reference that they want us to look at. In particular, Justice Bassel confirmed that, quote, as set forth in Rormuz, the fact finder must first perform a lodestar calculation based on reasonable hours worked multiplied by a reasonable hourly rate. And only after first making that initial base lodestar determination may the trial court move to step 2 and adjust up or down the base lodestar utilizing the Arthur Anderson considerations. and it's citing it at page 12. Thus, ASTA Partners affirms that the failure of a trial court to award fees based on the guiding principles set forth in Rormus renders the award legally insufficient and constitutes an abuse of discretion. So let's check their citation, right? Let me pull up the old Westlaw. This is a Westlaw citation. I don't know if it's publicly available, but I have Westlaw, so we can do it this way. As soon as I can actually get logged in. Thank you. Got to put this Westlaw subscription to work. Otherwise, I'll regret having it. Walter Mellon says, can you do a breakdown on the body cam vid where the San Diego sheriffs lit up a lady during an eviction notice? Ooh, maybe. I'm not aware of it. Walter Mellon, can you send that to me somewhere? Catfax says, a false emperor sits on the golden throne. Let the galaxy burn. Wah! I'm sorry, your name is Cat Facts, and that is not a fact. That's the part. There's LLC versus Palaniswamy. Is that the right? Yep, here we go. All right, so they cited at page 12. They cited at page 12. The opinion itself, as you can see, is approximately 22 pages. Let's take a gander here. I regret it anyway. This costs $650 a month. It's very expensive. Westlaw, sponsor me, you whores. Okay, anyway. So here's the introduction. Let's see if this has anything to do with the TCPA. This is a case in which founding co-manager Appellee Velumani Palaniswamy, Velu, siphoned funds from appellants ASTA Partners. Appellants then sued Velu, alleging claims for theft, conversion, breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, fraud, and malice, seeking loss of use damages, prejudgment interest, and attorney's fees. Claims were resolved piecemeal via a summary judgment, a jury trial, and a bench trial. Trial court granted summary judgment for appellants on their claims of theft, conversion, and breach of contract. The damages related to those claims were tried to a jury, as well as the claims for breach of fiduciary duty, fraud, and malice. After both sides rested in the jury trial, the trial court granted appellants' motion for a directed verdict on their breach of fiduciary duty claim. The jury found no fraud or malice, and following the agreed to mitigation of damages instruction that was included in the jury charge, awarded appellants $130,100 as to damages for theft, conversion, breach of contract. Trial court held that a bench trial on prejudgment interest, loss of damages, and attorney's fees, and awarded appellants $52,040 in attorney's fees for the trial proceeding and $0 for prejudgment interest. Trial court's final judgment included only the jury's damage award and the award of attorney's fees, and a statement that no prejudgment interest was awarded. Thus, the judgment omitted any reference to the claim for loss of use damages and to the directed verdict on the breach of fiduciary duty claim. Appellants filed a motion to correct the judgment so that it would reference the directed verdict on the breach of fiduciary duty claim. Within that motion, they also sought a judgment notwithstanding verdict on the damages award, seeking the trial court to disregard the jury's finding that appellants could have avoided $102,563.73 of the damages for theft, conversion, breach of contract by exercising reasonable care, and claiming that they conclusively proved $232,663.73 in damages, but the trial court denied the motion. On appeal, they raised 5 issues. Here's what we're after. Contending that the trial court erred by denying their JNOV, by not awarding the full amount of damages that they claim were conclusively proven, that the trial court abused its discretion by failing to award the full amount of proven attorney's fees, and that any appellate attorney's fees, prejudgment interest, loss of use damages, and that the trial court abused its discretion by failing to amend the judgment, blah, 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 blah. Based on the analysis below for appellants' first, second, fourth, and fifth issues, we hold the trial court did not err or abuse its discretion because, wait, was that second one? This one? The court did not err on its abuse of discretion. Okay. So the jury charge specifically allowed the jury to reduce the damages by the amount that the jury found appellants could have avoided by, maybe that was the third one, we'll see, could have avoided by the exercise of reasonable care, regardless of the discovery date of the breach, Thus, sufficient evidence supported the jury's answer to the mitigation instruction. General principles of equity governing prejudgment interest did not warrant an award of prejudgment interest. Failed to conclusively establish they had incurred loss of damages based on their pleadings, and the ruling on the directed verdict. Okay, so the third one is the attorney's fees. Okay. But because the trial court's findings of fact reflect that the trial court failed to follow the two-step lodestar method for calculating trial attorney's fees, and because the trial court failed to award any appellate attorney's fees, despite that appellants were entitled to an award of appellate attorney's fees, we sustain appellant's third issue, reverse and remand solely for a redetermination of the trial attorney's fees and for the trial court to determine the amount of appellate attorney's fees. Okay, so this is the issue that they're after. This is a case specifically on the lodestar calculation. Let's get down, skip most of this. Damages found by the jury, standard of review, the charge, analysis. That's that. Attorney's fees awarded by the trial court. Okay, here's where we need to be. In their third issue, appellants argue that the amount, I gotta make this bigger. I'm old. Sorry. Appellants argue that the amount of attorney's fees awarded by the trial court was improper and ought to be corrected by this court. Appellants challenge the legal and factual sufficiency of the trial court's award of trial attorney's fees in the amount of $52,040, which is calculated by applying the contracted for 40% contingency fee to the jury's damages award, and that the trial court's failure to award any appellate attorney's fees. As discussed below, the trial court's finding of fact demonstrate that it did not follow the lodestar method of calculating trial attorney's fees, but relied solely on the contingency fee arrangement, which was error. Additionally, the trial court abused its discretion. This is error, but this is abuse of discretion by not awarding appellate attorney's fees, because case law mandates that if award of trial attorney's fees is mandatory under an authorizing statute, then appellate attorney's fees is likewise mandatory if proof of reasonable fees is presented. So that's the discretionary error. This one does not call abuse of discretion, but we'll see how they word it down here. They might word it more precisely in the next section. We review a trial court's award of attorney's fees for abuse of discretion. A trial court abuses that discretion if it acts arbitrarily, unreasonably, or without regard to guiding legal principles, or if its decision is not supported by legally or factually sufficient evidence. This is immediately a problem for Monica Rial and Ron Toye. This is immediately a problem because there are, that was not arbitrary and it was not unreasonable. Judge Chupp looked at the other attorney's fees in the case and said, you're an expert and you're claiming to have worked 4 times as much as this other person to get the same result. There's also legally and factually sufficient evidence because it was the calculation of presumptively reasonable attorney's fees by other attorneys in the case for the same amount of work, for the same claims and the same task. Judge Chupp laid this out in his opinion. So explaining that legal and factual sufficiency of the evidence are relevant factors in determining whether the trial court abused discretion. All of that was legally and factually sufficient because it was the basis of the attorney's fees claims for other lawyers. The judge just determined that Rial's lawyers and Funimation's lawyers both unreasonably inflated their costs. That's the problem that they have here. Texas Supreme Court laid out the framework for determining attorney's fees in Rormu's. Lodestar method, as we presented it in El Apple, applies for determining the reasonableness and necessity of attorney's fees in a fee-shifting situation. Under the lodestar method, the determination of what constitutes a reasonable attorney's fees involves 2 steps. First, the fact finder must determine the reasonable hours spent by counsel in the case and a reasonable hourly rate for such work. He then multiplies the number of such hours by the applicable rate. the product of which is the base fee or lodestar. Fact finder may then adjust the base lodestar up or down, apply a multiplier if relevant factors indicate an adjustment is necessary to reach a reasonable fee in the case. And there's no reason to suggest that Chupp didn't do this other than the fact that he didn't specifically write it down. But he references the amount of hours worked and the fee which was charged. So thus, the fact finder must first determine a base lodestar figure based on a reasonable hours worked multiplied by a reasonable hourly rate. In a jury trial, the jury should be instructed that the base lodestar figure is presumed to represent reasonable and necessary attorney's fees, but other considerations may justify an enhancement or reduction in the base lodestar. Accordingly, the fact finder must then determine whether evidence of those considerations overcomes the presumption necessitates an adjustment to reach a reasonable fee. Arthur Anderson lists relevant considerations that may justify an adjustment, but considerations already incorporated into the base calculation may not be applied to rebut the presumption that the base calculation reflects the reasonableness. Okay. General conclusory testimony devoid of any real substance will not support a fee award. That's not an issue here. Thus, a claimant seeking an award of attorney's fees must prove the attorney's reasonable hours worked and reasonable rate by presenting sufficient evidence to support the fee award sought. Okay. They did that. Sufficient evidence includes, at minimum, evidence of particular services performed, who performed those services approximately when they were performed, the reasonable amount of time required to perform the service, reasonable hourly rate for each person performing such services. Okay, but he has all of this in evidence. This is one of the problems that they have. Judge Chupp has this in evidence. They presented all this to the court. He accepted it as evidence. Then he determined that the fees were unreasonable, and he cut them down significantly to basically capping them at $50,000 per defendant, which means Monica and Ron were awarded a combined $100,000. Funimation was awarded $50,000, and Jamie Markey was awarded the $39,000 or whatever that her attorney billed. Let's see. So the evidence presented, appellant's attorney Mike Yanoff testified that he had 22 years experience as trial and appellate specialist, and then he was a partner at the firm, hired in the case because the originating attorney was not a trial specialist. Said appellant's goal was to be made whole, and they wanted their attorneys to determine how much Velu had taken. Said no idea of the amount as numbers, blah, blah. He testified the total of funds taken was in dispute until the Sunday night before trial. Hourly rate of $575 was reasonable rate that is customarily and routinely charged in the DFW area. He said he's seen rates of $450 to $800 per hour for 22-year attorneys. Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. He stated that he was not asking for an upward departure from the actual time spent on the case, which was billed in 1/10 of an hour increments times $575 per hour. Testified the case was handled on a contingency fee contract, but that he had not factored that into the fees sought. A ledger reflecting attorney's fees based on the time spent on various tasks without regard to the contingency fee agreement was admitted in evidence, just like in the Vic case. The hours are not totaled in the exhibit, but our summation of the hourly entries reveals that 588.4 hours were spent. Multiplying that by 575 results in $338,330 for total attorney's fees. Through the date of the bench trial, Yanoff testified the time spent for each of the tasks listed on the exhibit represented reasonable and necessary hours of the fees of the case. When asked whether he had segregated fees in the building, he testified, I did. Well, let me clarify, segregated fees for liability. There were different claims in this case in individual causes of action, and the discrete tasks that I did for the individual cause of action, blah, 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 blah. He explained that getting paid for this case would be difficult because, for starters, his contingency fee case tied to collecting the judgment. Said that what makes it a little more unique is that there's serious collectability issues. Yanoff testified that he'd been given the appellant's value based on first and foremost result. So this is a guy who he wanted a contingency fee, and was awarded $52,000, but now he's asking for $375,000. Yanoff also made sure the firm had only 20 plus year attorneys working on the case because associates tend to bill for excessive research, while 2 20 plus year partners did what was absolutely essential on the case, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is not a good paragraph for them. This is not a good paragraph for Monica's team at all. They had attorneys who clearly billed for excessive research. That was actually alluded to specifically by Judge Chupp. When asking whether taking this case precluded him from taking other work, he said it potentially did. Potentially did, okay? Nature, length of professional relationship, etc. That's about his experience with appellate matters. Velu's attorney cross-examined him, confirmed that the appellants had contract for 40% contingency fee agreement. So 40% is all that appellants are obliged to pay his firm. When asked what percentage of the trial prep was necessary because of the fraud and exemplary damages claims, he did not attribute any time to those causes of action because the trial came down to damages and the damages were the same for every cause, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let's see what they say. Trial court made the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Court finds that a significant portion of the attorney's fees sought by appellants were excessive. Significant part of the work performed by appellant's counsel was not reasonable or necessary. Court finds that for the significant portions of the work performed, $5.75 per hour was not a reasonable hourly rate. Finds the reasonable amount necessary to compensate them for the fees actually incurred was here. Total hourly fees were unreasonable and excessive given the nature of the claim and the size of the recovery. Let's see. Analysis of award. Let's see. Okay, so here's the important part for the court's perspective. And if this is all Greek to you, well, this is how it goes. As set forth above, appellants presented evidence that two attorneys who charged that for a total of $338,000 in trial attorney's fees. The chart they presented contains evidence of the particular services, who performed the services, when the services were performed, the time. Yanov testified to the reasonableness of the hourly rate and the time spent on the case. Burke challenged the reasonableness of the hourly rate, stating it was significantly higher than the usual $400 to $450 that was reasonable for similar attorneys in the area, challenging whether it was necessary to use partner-level attorneys to go through checks and bank statements to determine how much they had stolen from appellants. Trial court's finding of fact demonstrate the trial court found appellant's trial attorney rate to be unreasonable for significant portions of the work they performed. Trial court's finding, however, do not demonstrate that the trial court determined what a reasonable rate should be for such work. Instead, the trial court, as reflected in the final judgment, chose to calculate the fees based solely on the contingency fee agreement of 40% of the damages. The award of trial attorney's fees based on this calculation cannot stand. As set forth in Rormu's, fact finder must first perform a lodestar calculation. So, again, this is, did Chup perform a lodestar calculation for Monica and Ron's attorney? I doubt it. I doubt that he specifically went in and performed a lodestar calculation. I think he took their fees at their word, similar to what happened here, accepted into evidence. But then what happens next is different. You see, in this case, they chose the agreed upon contingency fee. That ignores the lodestar calculation entirely. Did Judge Chup calculate a lodestar fee for Lemoyne? I don't think so. But did Judge Chup calculate, or we'll say, find an appropriate lodestar fee and hourly amount for this trial? Yes, he did. Whether the appeals court agrees or not, Judge Chup used the lodestar fee amount of the other attorney, and he found that to be reasonable. And then he based the departure on that amount. So while he didn't specifically go in and calculate a lodestar amount for them, he did utilize a lodestar amount. It's not based on a contingency fee agreement or some arbitrary figure. He has what he found to be reasonable hours and fees in the actual evidence already. And he utilized that as his basis, would be the argument that I would make if I were arguing this. I'm not. I'm just commenting on it on YouTube. What the court will do with this, who knows? But that would be the argument I would present to the court. The court should find that Judge Chup did utilize a lodestar method that he found to be reasonable. And it was Sam, whatever his name was, the other attorney, who presented for the exact same set of facts, exact same accusations, exact same cause of action, a reasonable lodestar calculated attorney fee award. Presented to the court, accepted into the court as evidence, and then specifically referenced when Judge Chup was issuing the fee award. There you go. So that's what I would say on this, but that's the update, really. That's the argument. That's the argument here. Okay, so here's the conclusion. Here's another issue. Even if we presume the trial court made a base lodestar calculation, trial court was not allowed under the second step of the lodestar method to reduce the calculations based on the contingency fee agreement. Stating that the Arthur Anderson considerations, such as the existence of a contingency fee agreement already incorporated into the base calculation, may not be applied to rebut the presumption of the base calculation reflects reasonable and necessary attorney's fees. Disallowing an enhancement for contingency fee agreement because it would likely duplicate in substantial part considerations already subsumed in the base lodestar calculation. So it's ordinarily reflected in the lodestar either in the higher number of hours expended to overcome the difficulty or in the higher hourly rate of the attorney skilled and experienced enough to do so. Based on the evidence presented, appellants may not have been entitled to recover all of their requested attorney's fees, but they were statutorily entitled to their reasonable attorney's fees incurred. We conclude that the trial court's award of trial attorney fees based solely on the contingency fee agreement is without reference to the guiding principles set forth in Rormuz and is legally insufficient. This case is not actually on point for Vic Mignogna's case. And it's right there. This line, Vic's case, God damn it. I just want to highlight whatever. Vic's case was not taken on a contingency by these other attorneys. They didn't argue a contingency. They didn't do anything like that. And the determination or the refusal of their attorney's fee amount was not based on a contingency fee. So this is the ruling on this issue in this appellate court. We therefore hold the trial court abuses discretion by awarding trial fees of $52,040. We sustain the portion of appellant's third issue challenging the amount of trial attorney's fees. So that's fine, but this isn't relevant to Vic's case. This is basically dicta that they're trying to use to make an argument for Vic's case. So if anybody reads this and tells you this is a slam dunk for Monica Rial and Ron Toye's lawyers, they're mistaken because it's not an actual argument on point. The situations have a pretty critical difference in fact. But again, my overall analysis of this is just that they're trying to find a polite way to prod the court to issue a fucking ruling sometime this damn century. So there you go. There's the Vic news. I hope you're happy now. I hope you're happy. Are you happy yet, chat? Are you happy yet, chat? We've got some good news. Some good news is going on here. That was shared in the chat here. Uncivil Laws channel is back. Uncivil Laws channel is back. His videos are a jumbled mess that are completely out of order. Streamed a year ago, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 day ago. I don't know how you rearrange this. That's going to be a fucking nightmare to rearrange. He's back before he did thumbnails for many of those. But the first part is that his channel is back. He has videos that are up there. So that's looking promising for Kurt. As for this, he'll have to redo probably all of these little tabs. He does have playlists. Okay. Here we go. Needs to private those channel subscriptions, probably. But yeah, so his about section's gone, his home section's gone, but the channel is there, and he'll be hopefully back at it in the very near future. Sitzkrieg says, for anybody dealing with cancer, look into the metabolic theory of cancer, as well as treatment with anthelminthinics, such as fenbendazole. It's available over the counter and very safe. Worth a shot, right? Wishing you the best. I don't know if it's worth a shot. Probably talk to your physician about it. Hey, look, there he is in the chat. Uncivil Laws in the chat. Says, have you heard the good news about Ethereum, though? I have. It's very good news. McGuffin, though, says, I'm a black constitutional conservative. And it's got a cross. Married, father, airline pilot. The left hates me for everything I just mentioned. The right thinks we're all BLM commie criminals. Feel homeless in my own country. Please pray. McGuffin, though, I don't hate you. And I don't think you're a BLM commie criminal. But I don't know how to make anybody else think that. Sorry, brother. Good luck. Digitalis says, a toast to Uncivil Law. His channel was just restored. Well, we'll have to do that. Shout out Wings of Redemption. Why? Okay. Cheers to Kurt, man. A toast to a good man getting his channel back. And hopefully, after some admin work on the channel appearance, things will be back up and running in full swing in no time. Glad to hear it, buddy. Urban Phoenix Fox says, did you hear Monica and Jamie are doing a podcast of the case? What's your take on that? I mean, you can't really call it a podcast, right? It has one episode. Despite all the hype. Let's see here. Do we have it? There's still just one episode. I mean, they just did it. They just did the episode recently on January 8th. So, I mean, they've only had a little bit of time to get out that really hard to do second episode. It's almost like, even with all the hype from them, from Anime News Network, promoting it specifically with a news story that I'm sure they did not use their industry connections to get a specific news story about it. But despite all that, it kind of seems like nobody fucking cared. Kind of seems like maybe that was the issue, is that nobody gave a shit. And so they probably see that and they're like, dude, it's not very motivating to do podcasts that no one listens to except to roast you and how fat you sound. So, I don't know. Maybe they've got big plans. I'm sure they do. Well, all of their plans would be big necessarily. So, but I'm actually not super interested in it. I heard they quote unquote made some admissions in it. None of this matters if the appeals court doesn't do something about it. As far as court goes, for public perception, I don't think they're rehabilitating their image or damaging their image any more than they've already done. Either way, the people who like them will like them. The people who don't, largely, they won't. It's not like they're going to go back to liking Monica Rial and Jamie Markey. And it's not like the people who have supported them through all this are going to suddenly be like, you know what? I don't like them anymore. Not based on the podcast. Something else would have to happen. The denialist says a Vic update and uncivil is unbanned. It's a bit late. This is a glorious birthday present, even if belated by a few hours. And I hope you were wary of the Ides of March. Oh shit, that was yesterday. Is St. Patrick's Day tomorrow? Is it the 17th? Is St. Patrick's Day always on a Monday? I never remember. St. Patrick's. No, it's the 17th, Thursday. I'm waiting. I have this. I have this Kentucky Owl St. Patrick's Day edition, limited edition bourbon that I'm saving for St. Patrick's Day. It's been sitting here staring at me. Wise man's bourbon. I'm just waiting. So on Thursday, we have to do an Alki stream on Thursday, right? Like in support of the Irish. Alcohol and female redheads stream, right? That's as Irish as it gets. Alcohol and hashtag natural redheads only stream, I think. We'll figure it out. The Irish are a notoriously oppressed group of degenerates and scumbags. Always have been. Loved by no other nation. Grudgingly accepted by the UK or whatever. So yeah, we'll work on that. Make a stream raising awareness of Hollywood erasing redheads from movies and TV shows. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe Eric July would come back on for that. It's really fast turnaround, but maybe he would. That's a good idea. Okay. So, have an Irish funeral for each one of them. Okay, so that was the Vic news. I tried to tell people it wasn't like a huge thing. It wasn't a big deal. Nothing's changed in the case. We're still waiting on the appeals court. So I hope that sated your Vic obsessions. Speaking of obsessions, I think I've got some other stuff to show. That's tangentially related. Where are we? Tangentially related. What do we have? Let's see. Where's the worst thing? Damn it. Well, this one's bad. I showed this on the daytime show, but this is not good. Whoops. Nope. We'll take a peek at this real quick. This is who's Maddie B Raps? Does anybody know? Matthew David Morris, an American singer, who is 19 years old today. This is important, okay? Maddie B Raps is 19 years old today. This was on November 11th, 2014, which means that's what's 9. So, oh God, I'm fucking boomer math. 22 minus 14 equals 8. So we take 19 minus 8 equals 11. So Maddie B. Raps was 11 years old. 11 years old when this post was made. Okay. Oh, shit. Here. Maddie B. Raps, 11 years old when this post was made. Damon Mills, BFFLS 5 ever. I don't know what BFFLS means. I actually like him. MVP, true. I'd kiss him, but pedophilia. Jailbait, Just want to point that out there. That's Damon Mills saying jailbait, about an 11-year-old. And this broken ass person says, oh, you trying to get some? Fuck her right into pussy. Is the follow-up there. Is this a... Yeah. Yeah. And then 5 ever. He looks like a girl. What the fuck? Because he is, duh. He's just trying to get by. I guess that's a joke about being bisexual. I don't know. But yeah, Damon Mills, who is openly homosexual. Although someone brought up that I was only shitting on Damon Mills because he was a gay. No, I'm shitting on Damon Mills because he's a fucking pedophile. Damon Mills is calling an 11-year-old boy jailbait and was, through text message, having illicit conversations with a child he knew to be a minor. Damon Mills is a pedophile. Has nothing to do with whether or not he's gay. Who fucking cares if he's gay? He's a kid toucher. He's a danger to children. That's the problem with Damon Mills. Are you kidding me? Because he's gay? What are you trying to say about gays? Are you saying that all gays are pedophiles? I mean, I'm not willing to go there yet. I'm not willing to go there. I'm saying Damon Mills is a pedophile who is also gay, which makes him a gay pedophile. And here you go. That's as if more evidence were needed. This is the amazing thing about the Damon Mills situation is the allegations against Damon Mills are actually supported by facts. Very clear facts. The chat logs all exist for Damon Mills. Let's see. There was another one. There was another new one that I wanted to show people. I don't know what page it's on. Someone sent it to me specifically, but I know where they got it, so I'm skimming real quick to find it. The amount of people coming out in support of Damon Mills who are anti-Vic is insane to me, but that's that. Oh God, these fucking chat logs are gross. So I'm scrolling through. I'm not going to go through 42 pages. This I wish I remembered who sent me the creepy Damon Mills post earlier. Where was that? I get people send me stuff from so many different places. Was it here? Nope, it wasn't here. Shit. Where was that? Was it on Twitter? Guess it had to be on Twitter, right? People are really mad, by the way, that I'm talking about this because they apparently don't see. Oh, God. What does this say? Oh, you know what, chat? Oh, fucking hell. You have to see this too. You have to see this too, chat. No, God damn it. Suffer with me. Here we go.
Happy birthday, you thirsty gorilla. I got you a present. Are you happy? Happy birthday, you thirsty gorilla. I got you a present. Are you happy?
Oh, you can't hear? Well, fuck. Hold on. Well, let's go back to the other one real quick so you can hear it. This is degeneracy. Wait, now I muted it. Fuck, it's my fault.
Happy birthday, you thirsty gorilla. I got you a present. Are you happy?
Literally,
Happy
no.
birthday, you thirsty gorilla. I got.
No. No, I'm not happy at all. What the fuck is that? What is that? Ew. Uncivil law, no. You can watch that on your own disgusting time. You know what? I hope you get banned again for just for asking. Ugh. Ugh. God damn it. I wish I knew where that other one was. Anime News Network sat on this story for 5 months, by the way. 5 months they sat on this story. They knew this story about Damon Mills for 5 months. I don't know what I don't know what else to tell you. If you want to know about this industry, Uh, I'm trying to get a little bit more info about this situation from a source that's not as obvious. But if you want to know what's broken about this industry, about why none of these people can be trusted, I present to you every other voice actor than Vic Mignogna. The Rooster Teeth stuff. Silence. Silence from the industry. Silence from places like Anime News Network, as a man was beating his wife so bad that she had to flee in the night to the police station. Silence. Silence as a different Rooster Teeth executive. Rooster Teeth had some rough times, both of which condemn Vic Mignogna, by the way. As a separate Rooster Teeth executive was taking pictures of himself shoving dildos in his ass, and worse, in my opinion, somehow taking pictures of his wife getting dressed without her consent and sending those pictures to a catfish on the internet. These are broken people. And they all live in the glassest of glass houses with the thinnest of panes. ANN sat on this story for 5 months. Oh, if you don't know, by the way, Duncan, the original accuser of Damon Mills, after being threatened with a lawsuit, retracted all of his statements. Duncan did that. Despite the fact that those statements are backed up by text messages, by actual text messages from Damon to Duncan, Duncan apparently retracted everything. Says, no, I retract formally all my statements against Damon Mills. These people literally silenced a victim by their own standards, by their own admissions. That's what they did. And an industry of people who, by the way, all profess to believe all victims. Not a single one of them came out and said, whoa, Damon Mills needs to go. Why? Why didn't they do that? What was the difference? What's the difference between Vic and Damon Mills? Couple things. Damon's gay. He's got the LGBTQ plus card. And while I really don't give a shit about it, despite being told that I do, which is so weird, like, who fucking cares? But these people care. They don't care that Damon Mills is gay. They care that Damon Mills is not straight, because that makes him better for them to support than someone else. He's higher on the stack. If you've never seen Sargoon, just kidding, I love that guy. If you've never seen Sargon's video on the progressive stack, it was like years and years ago. Damon Mills is LGBTQ plus or whatever, and probably M, right? For MAP, for motherfucking child molester. That's the M in LGBTQM. Motherfucking child molester, Damon Mills. Those two things, straight up the stack. Gay and child molester. Oh my God, they can't help it. They have to protect him like he's a retarded baby or something. The other thing is that Vic is Christian and has right-leaning politics. That's it. Those are the key differences. Nobody hesitated to destroy Vic's career because he doesn't fit in the club. But Damon Mills, a gay? We get to hang out with a gay? Oh, that's so great. That's literally how these gross people think. Oh, I like him. He's very gay. Huh? What? What are you talking about? That's how these people operate. It's gross. They're busted. Anyway, they'll bury this, by the way. The industry will bury this. No problems. No victim believing bullshit. None of that. Ignore all the text messages. Ignore everything about it. They'll bury it. Let's see. Yeah, Damon Mills waited 5 months, or Anime News Network waited 5 months to run the story on Damon Mills. They wasted zero time with the retraction. The retraction says, at this time, I wish to permanently retract my statements and allegations regarding Damon Mills. Wish to apologize for potential harm I caused anyone involved with or affected by this incident. Thank you for understanding. That's the new, that's it. Here, let's check out the Anime News Network. Totally reliable news story on it. Lindsay Loveridge, by the way, was so happy to write this retract. I can tell. She ovulated 6 times writing this retraction letter. Unfortunately, all the eggs were dead, but she still did it. The Ohio man that previously accused Evangelion film and Sonny Boy voice actor Damon Mills of groping him and masturbating next to him while he was sleeping when he was a teen has withdrawn the allegations. The man, referred to as Duncan due to concerns over retaliation and privacy, contacted Anime News Network on Sunday to issue the following statement. Duncan's previous allegations asserted that between 2014 and 2015, when the man was 16 to 17 years old, that's a boy, and Mills was 20 to 21 years old, then the then undiscovered voice actor would stay the night in Duncan's family home and insist on sharing the teen's twin-sized bed. Duncan previously stated that on multiple occasions he awoke to Mills wrapped around him, groping him, and at least one instance masturbated next to him. Mills, through a cease and desist letter sent to the alleged victim on February 18th, asserted that the relationship was consensual and mutual. Pedo, 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 pedo. And the allegations were wholeheartedly false and without merit. In a separate communication with Duncan, voice actor asked that the allegations be retracted. Another teen friend, Brian, who has asked us not to publish his last name due to privacy concerns, shared images and messages with Mills from 2014 to 2015, which appear to show Mills repeatedly asking for a video of Duncan allegedly in his underwear. Another message screenshot Brian shared with ANN. Mills appeared to state that he and Duncan never really dated and that his feelings for the teenager were unrequited. Duncan's own messages, 2014 to 2015, shows Mills discussed helping the teen masturbate, asked what kind of sexual acts he was interested in, and asked for a measurement of his penis. Many of the allegations were shared via a public Google document. That original document is no longer online. Mills told ANN that he has sought legal counsel and has been advised not to comment on the allegations. He sent the alleged victim a cease and desist letter on February 18th. Mills also demanded in the letter the alleged victim cease and desist from further contacting Mills' employer or contractors. He was given until February 25th to agree or face potential legal action, including potential liability for damages, costs, and expenses. In a separate communication with Duncan, Mills asked the allegations be retracted before he would consider granting an extension to respond to the cease and desist. Damon Mills is represented by Kenneth J. Burke of Burke Law Group, APC in California. So there you go. They're very happy that these were retracted. Their text messages corroborating it, but it was retracted though. Good enough. That's the industry. That's the anime industry in America, by the way. Oh, God. I don't know what to tell you. You can watch them protect actual predators in real time. Watch it happen. Okay. Rachel Holt Says, let's also remember Joe's fantastic legal representation. He promised within 24 hours, and the Jew Mafia came through. They did. The Jew Mafia came out in their Hasidic spiral sideburns or whatever, and they massated the shit out of everyone who yeeted Kurt's channel. Uncivil Law says, thanks for all the help, everyone, in getting my channel back. It's a very stressful 2 days, and I really appreciate all the help. John Henry Sneeden says, it's never okay to be Damon Cheese Pizza. Mills. Cody Bear. Hey, what's up, Cody? Says, reminder that Damon Mills' entire career is built on being able to imitate the sound of a better actor's voice to be his understudy. Also, that he tried to spy on an internet rando IRL because some has-been VAs told him to. Yes, actually, I haven't talked about this too much. I've been gathering some more details on it because I'm fuzzy on the subject. But Damon Mills was not just cyber stalking, but IRL stalking a person because of other voice actors telling this person or telling Damon Mills to stalk them, to follow them around, to go to their job, to do weird. The dude's a fucking weirdo. They love these people. All of their bullshit about victims has never once been true. By the way, there was one person. There are tons of people on our side, but there's one person prominent in this whole thing who begged from day one for a single piece of credible evidence to be presented. Some text message, some video, some photo, something. It was me, by the way. That, as far as outspoken people with an audience, it was me saying, please show me where Vic did this. Show me. Show me. I'm not a quote unquote believe all victims person. I will never be, because I have some level of skepticism towards out of the blue complaints. Show me the victim's evidence. Show me the victim's evidence when you want to make a public allegation to ruin someone else. Look, if a victim just wants some sympathy and says, hey, I was victimized or whatever, I'm not trying to ruin anybody. I just want to say this happened to me. I'm not going to reveal the person's name. This is my truth, my story. This is what I remember. I'm with them all day. Doesn't matter. It's when you start to ruin somebody else's life, then I go, okay, I need evidence now, though. That's what I need. I need evidence to show your victimhood. And then I'm with you, because someone who offends on children or rapes women or rapes men, they all deserve the harshest criminal punishments our society can muster. In many cases, I think rape is comparable to death. I think kid touching is comparable to murder because of how much damage that you do. So, show me the fucking evidence that it happened, and I'm with you. But these people never seem to be able to muster it. Right? And when it does come out, they're always like, oh, none of this is okay. Wait, what? Gross. Golden Queen Gaming says, finally got a job. Got a bunch of things planned now that I got some money coming in. Here's my first super chat. So enjoy my peasant money. Hope I can restrain myself to get my first gaming laptop to start streaming and VTubing. Well, yes, start by stopping giving super chats to me. Every time you feel like giving a super chat to me, put it in a jar and buy yourself a laptop. Do it. Do it, please. That'd be awesome. But wait, you said VTubing? Scratch that. Don't you dare buy a laptop. Give every dollar to me just so I can save you from being a VTuber. What the fuck are you thinking? What are you thinking? Okay. So that covers the Damon Mills thing. I guess that adequately covers Damon Mills. Am I fixed? What do you mean, am I fixed? Like, am I firing blanks? No. No. Wait, what? Megan K sent the most confusing super chats. I've got to read. Instead walk on roll ice fishing film attorney Tom Woodchipper. You go into Bronca Times to see who taller be filmed. Florida soundstage visit on set in Biwabik. I don't know what that is, but I feel like someone's MK Ultra was just activated and there will likely be an assassination in the next 36 hours. Zelensky's probably going to get killed. Zelensky, sorry, it's not up to me, Ukraine, but I think MK Ultra is on the way. Someone dressed in a Putin loves you shirt and wearing a Russian hat and saying Dos Vodonya is going to shoot Zelensky in the next 36 hours because of that. You've just been activated. I don't know what the super chat said. Very wild. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. What is next? Okay, I have to do the story. Right. Here we go. The Freedom Convoy Bitcoin donations have been frozen and seized. Bitcoin was supposed to be a financial lifeline for vaccine mandate protesters in Canada. That hasn't exactly worked out as planned. This is the story I have not wanted to talk about today. As Canadian protesters against vaccine mandates rose to become a cause celeb, millions of dollars in donations flew to a Christian crowdfunding site. But that site got hacked and also had to freeze millions of dollars meant for the self-styled Freedom Convoy after the government enacted the Emergencies Act to cut off protesters from financial system. In that moment, Bitcoin entered the arena, hoping to be the lead rescuer of the protesters from financial troubles, with the organizers of Bitcoin fundraiser Honk Honk Hodl raising more than $1 million in the crypto. It was a big moment for Bitcoin and the ideals that its proponents see in the cryptocurrency, like censorship-resistant money. Quote, I still can't believe that this is the protest that would prove every Bitcoin crank a prophet, David Heinmeier Hansen, Basecamp's co-founder and longtime anti-Bitcoiner, wrote in a blog titled, I was wrong, we need crypto at the time. And for me to have to slice a piece of humble pie and admit I was wrong on crypto's fundamental necessity in Western democracies. Getting your money turned off is insanely harmful. One trucker I met ran a business and didn't know what he was going to do to be able to pay his 10 drivers next. A Hong Kong called a lead organizer who goes by the pseudonym Nobody Caribou told Motherboard, incredibly messed up. But a strangely familiar fate has befallen Bitcoin donations. Many truckers now can't cash out their donated Bitcoin due to financial sanctions, with some of the Bitcoins being seized from Nobody Caribou by the authorities. The lead protesters and fundraiser organizers are now facing a class action lawsuit that wants to give all the donated Bitcoins to Ottawa citizens who were in the vicinity of the protests. They will take your money and give it to those who hate you. J.M. Weatherman, a pseudonymous lead Bitcoin donor whom Nobody Caribou reached out to for help, brainstormed an action plan via a 25-page public Google Doc, and eventually a coder volunteered to help divide 14.6 Bitcoins into 100 separate Bitcoin wallets to be distributed to the truckers. But for the truckers to access the funds, Nobody Caribou had to approach them individually and hand out a meticulously detailed explanation on how to claim the Bitcoin as well as the codes necessary, all carefully placed in envelopes. Quote, I orange-pilled many truckers by giving them 8,000 reasons to look into it, Nobody Caribou told Motherboard. 10% of truckers refuse a donation fearing scam or because of complexity, he said. One trucker goes by Ottawa Scotty on YouTube, was on a live stream from his cab. Nobody Caribou approached him and handed out an envelope that contained $8,000 worth of Bitcoin, along with instructions on how to claim it. That's insane, man, the trucker said. Definitely one of the craziest things that happened over the last 2 weeks. According to a webpage tracking fund movements in the distributed wallets, half of the wallets of the truckers have been accessed so far. But all that radically transparent approach intended for the peace of mind of donors like Weatherman, who had threatened Hong Kong Caudle with a lawsuit if they failed to distribute Bitcoin to truckers before being enlisted help, is also what made the plans go awry. Bitcoin's a system of public ledger, so all transactions on the network are visible to everyone. This includes, of course, the authorities that want to track them down. The Ontario Provincial Police and Royal Canadian Mounted Police ordered banks and crypto exchanges to block any transactions from crypto wallets tied to the truckers. In reply to a question whether his crypto exchange would also ban addresses, Kraken CEO Jesse Powell, who donated $43,000 himself, said 100% yes, it has/will happen, and 100% yes, we will be forced to comply. If you're worried about it, don't keep your funds with any centralized/regulated custodian. We cannot protect you. Get your coins and cash out and only trade peer-to-peer. And here is where all of the Bitcoin apologists will come out and say, see, if you just do it this way, it'll work, which I've always acknowledged that you can just do it peer-to-peer. Sure. I mean, they can still track the transactions. They can still see who's doing it. However, the problem is most of the people you interact with will not do peer-to-peer transfers because they're complex, they're outside of their comfort zone or their technology level. There's risk involved, and they would typically rather mitigate that risk by just using a merchant service. Some sort of centralized clearinghouse, because that's how they deal with all of their money. We're talking about basic goods. Cash Masturbator says cash. Cash is going to go the same way. I'm telling you. Without massive intervention in this from people who enjoy freedom, all of this will be locked down. In following the Bitcoin on the public ledger, it appears that some end users were able to cash out some Bitcoin before it could be frozen. Law firm Lenzer Slot partner Monique Gilson told Motherboard. Lenzer Slot acts for Champ & Associates, the law firm representing Ottawa residents in the lawsuit against the convoy organizers, including Nobody Caribou. Nobody Caribou distributed the wallets on February 16th, one day before the freezing order, known in Canada as Mareva injunction, was made. The order targeted individuals related to the protest, quote, as any banks, financial institutions, money services businesses, fundraising platforms or websites, cryptocurrency exchanges or platforms, or custodians of any cryptocurrency wallets. The order specified cryptocurrency addresses controlled by Nobody Caribou and other organizers, and included any tokens belonging to Nobody Caribou, quote, which had been transferred to other digital wallets as identified through the public ledger, followed by a list of 123 addresses. So all of the wallet addresses that he contributed to, all of those had a government order from Canada saying no, saying it is illegal to transact this business. Can you? Some people could. Can you rob a bank? Sure. Sure you can. Can you forge currency? Sure you can. They can make it illegal though. Although 14.6 Bitcoin, which was worth around 630,000 then, were distributed to truckers, police came to Nobody Caribou's home on February 28th and took 0.28 Bitcoin worth about 15 grand stored in a wallet Nobody Caribou co-controlled with Tamara Litch and Chris Barber, members of the trucker-affiliated nonprofit who were previously arrested. According to court documents, Nobody Caribou claimed he was about to transfer the funds to an escrow agent when police compelled him to surrender his wallet under a search warrant. The seizure of a censorship-resistant digital asset might sound odd at first, but all it's referring to is a string of 12 words known as a seed phrase. If not held on a centralized crypto exchange like Coinbase, Bitcoin is self-custodial by design, which means one can only access their Bitcoin if they type those 12 words in an exact order. According to Nobody Caribou, police compelled him to reveal his seed phrase. The control of the seized Bitcoin has now been passed on to a court-appointed escrow agent, Gilson told Motherboard. The escrow agent will hold custody of Bitcoin until the lawsuit has a verdict on the cryptocurrency's fate. I wanted to give the Bitcoin to truckers. A court order was issued for the Bitcoin that had not yet been distributed. So regardless of what I want, I'm not going to break the law and get arrested, Nobody Caribou told Motherboard. The basis for the claim on those funds is to be determined by courts. Until then, they're safely held in escrow. And I don't know what Canada's system for contempt of court is, but in the US, if you tried to resist an order compelling your disclosure, you could try to resist it on First Amendment grounds. You could try and resist it on Fifth Amendment grounds. You might lose. Other people have been compelled to disclose encryption keys or passwords. Your best bet is a password or some string of 12 words. The problem is with the Bitcoin, I don't think you create the 12-word string, do you? Is it generated by some program? Because if it's not generated by you, you may have less protection in it. You can't be ordered to remember something, remember it wrong. Oh, they can hold you in contempt though. Up to a year. Up to a year in jail. It's picked from a list of 2048 words. It's not even your own choice. Oof. Oof. This is the problem. This is the problem. They can also seize anything you'd use to access them. Like, for example, the physical hard drive where it might be located, the USB drive, etc. And you can certainly refuse any of this stuff, but they can also just jail you then. And contempt charges aren't really, like, it's not a trial. You just go to jail. Judge just goes, fuck you. You have contempt for this court? Go to jail. In the fallout of a Bitcoin experiment that could have gone better, but was nevertheless a proof of concept for the Bitcoin community, there are a few key lessons. Centralized coordination is fine. Centralized custody is the problem. Nobody Caribou told Motherboard. Note to self, never be a trusted third party. Again, he tweeted on March 10th. But it's how do you do it, right? How do you distribute stuff to a movement in a distributed way? This is a problem. Sure, you could send individual truckers like 1/10 of a Bitcoin each or something like that. But how do you do it in some distributed way? It's tougher to work out. I can't get him off the screen. It's an ad. It's an ad. Now the seized Bitcoins and the rest of the Bitcoins that could yet be seized from the truckers may end up in the public coffers. Can't speak for the province, but they had a variety of options, including compensating the people of Ottawa who were subject to the conduct of the defendants. Spokespeople for Ontario Ministry of the Attorney General declined to comment as this relates to a matter that is before the courts. Bitcoin wasn't meant to end up in a legal quagmire like this. Cryptocurrency was designed and touted as an apolitical liberating force during times of heavy-handed government interventions, either for good or bad purposes. And yet, the realities of the cryptocurrency market, ranging from regulated entities to liquidity limitations, mean there's a long way before Bitcoin can fulfill its potential as a censorship-resistant monetary technology. This is the problem I've been talking about for years. It's not the tech. It's not the underlying tech that's the issue. It's what the government will do to circumvent the tech that circumvents the government. That's your problem. You're messing with power. You're messing with real power, the banks. And when you mess with the real power, the guns will come out. And when you resist handing over your Bitcoin wallet, when you resist giving up the hard drive with your $1 million, you're like, oh, I just don't remember the password to my $1 million Bitcoin wallet. Then maybe you resisted arrest. Maybe you grabbed that gun in the officer's belt. Remember when you grabbed for the gun or the pepper spray or the taser? Very unfortunate that you would do that. And the officer just had to react. And if you think I'm kidding, you're messing with the banks. You're messing with the currency. Godspeed. Godspeed. I want to be wrong. Please make me wrong on this issue. I've talked to so many good, smart people who will tell me all day about Bitcoin or other crypto and how great it is, how it's immune to all this. And yet, every time I tell them, I get it. You can give it to Drainator 4316 in your peer-to-peer Bitcoin transfer all day, right? It's great. You met on the dark web. You're going to send a guy 0.13 Bitcoins for the back issue of, for every back issue of Pamela Anderson Playboys you can get. Fine. But Bitcoin is an actual competitor to currency, as an actual competitor to the ability to purchase, to transact, to donate, to use your money for a voice, to use your money as speech, is limited not by the tech, but by the lengths the government will go to ensure the tech isn't sufficient. 2X Vision says the public ledger is now a liability. Yeah. So it's, and again, the other thing you're doing with crypto is you're avoiding tax. And if they can't find a way to track your crypto, to assign it to you, and to tax you on it, it will become the most illegal thing you've ever heard of. And your biggest enemy is someone like Elon Musk. Because he'll tout it, because he's a tism. And he's right about what it should be. You're all right about what it should be. But Musk is a tism. And he won't understand the difference between what it should be and what it is, because he works in a world of A plus B equals C. He's an engineer, right? If he's not an engineer, he fancies himself an engineer. He works with enough engineers that everything has to be plugged into an equation. And once that equation is filled, the answer pops out. The government doesn't like that. They never have. So anyway, not to be the black pill, but fuck, every time there's something where it's like, oh man, I think crypto can do that. Government's there to fuck up your day. I think it's time. What do you guys think? Is it time? Is it time for something a little more uplifting?
I'm bread!
793, approaching the end. Approaching the end. So we had too many good news streams lately. $7.93. Oh, I needed it. I needed it immediately. It was immediately rewarded. Immediately rewarded. Okay. We're on page 793 of the Book of Matthew Harris. This is your daily unbreaded. Nothing is funny to Binger. All right. Nothing is funny to Binger. Nothing is funny if it could be insulting. Nothing is funny if it could be interpreted a different way. There are no matters to laugh at. There are no laughing matters if they can be interpreted as insulting. There are no laughing matters if they can be interpreted a different way. If you know it is impossible for it to be anything but funny, then you can laugh. Nothing is funny if it can be misrepresented. Nothing questionable is funny. Only absolute bliss is worth laughing at. Absolute bliss is not ignorance. Nothing but the state of enjoying everything at once with no compromise, with no less than perfection, with no excuses, with no half levels of enjoyment is acceptable. Nothing less than this can be enjoyed. Only unrestrained enjoyment is worthy of being funny. Where there is doubt, it isn't funny. Where there are worries, it isn't funny. Where there is discomfort, it isn't funny. If you look for worries and doubts and find nothing, then you have found enjoyment and bliss and fun. If anything can be interpreted as less than perfect, as less than pure desire, as less than power, then it is evil. If anything can suggest about Matthew C. Harris, the prophet of this book, then it must die. Then it is less than acceptable. Then it is impossible to continue, and then it is not funny. The only things that are funny are things that are infinitely fun. The enemy dispenses poison by teaching Bingaz to laugh at what is not funny. The enemy pretends with their lies that things are not funny at all are funny. Those things are not funny at all. The enemy tries to suggest that threats are funny. The enemy tries to suggest that criticisms are funny. The enemy tries to suggest that danger and losing and having something taken away from you is funny. The enemy tries to suggest that being insulted is funny. The enemy tries to suggest that being called weak and stupid and insults is funny. The enemy tries to lower by trying to convince that accepting its open displays of destruction, its insults are to be laughed at as funny. So the enemy laughs at Binger. The enemy insults Binger directly. The enemy will say, "This is my job to rob Binger," in a song like Eminem. "This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me," to steal from black music directly like Elvis Presley. The enemy to this day uses Binger music directly to insult Binger, to rob Binger of energy that is priceless. The enemy directly to this day uses Binger music to insult Binger and pretends it's comedic. They pretend to put humor in rap. They pretend to put humor in movies about things that are not funny. They pretend to stand next to Binger as your buddy while they insult you. They pretend to call it a punchline. That's why they call it that, and they pretend that Binger is too stupid to understand the brainwashing and all the media as infiltrating our own expressions of ourselves to the point that they want to imitate them, insulting us, degrading us, and robbing us, to the point where they infiltrate even our own expressions of ourselves and want us to imitate. There you go. That is our daily unbreaded for today. A black pilled unbreaded. It's a black pilled unbreaded right there. There is no funny. Oh, you think football is fun? Zero fun, sir. All right, then. That was a black moment. With that said, let's move let's move on through a couple of the chats. And Malik Foxton says, honestly, Harris's take on humor is pretty breaded. It is. It is. It is very breaded. Stooge Muffin 7 says, just celebrated my 28th birthday. What? Happy birthday, brother. Way to keep getting older. Joel Valdez says, thanks, Nick, for just being yourself. Stay awesome. Well, I'll stay myself. Awesome is subjective. Strategic Defense Concept says Twitter DM. And Mephisto's movie reviews, welcome to lawyer status. I owe you a response. We got to do a show. Let's see. No, I'm not gonna play that, Dave. Sorry. Not gonna play that. That's someone else's thing. Some good memes coming into my DMs. Here we go. Let's see. Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh, that's very short. What is this? Oh, yeah, the prayers for Ukraine video. I saw that. Oh, shit. Let's see this. Hold on. We got a 10-minute video here. And then we'll probably do super chats and wrap up. This is I got to put in headphones for this one. Let's see. I love how the Odyssey always thinks I'm not paying attention to them. The Odyssey chat's always like, Rackets is never listening. I am, my sons. I am. I'm there with you. Okay, here we go. This is a critical incident video from Little Italy. Let's get to the meat of this matter. Y'all ready for this? Deputy Jason Bunch knocks on a door and a woman appears. Deputy Bunch confirms her name is Yan Lee. As Deputy Bunch hands her paperwork, he notices Lee is holding a meat cleaver or heavy-duty knife. Well, it can only really go up from there, right? Pickles, $10. How can I know you're not the intruder? Bitch, he's got a gun. You better put the knife down. It's muted. Fucking hell. Okay, we'll go back to this. Hold on. I hate everything about StreamYard sometimes. Okay, back to it.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Hi.
What is it?
Are you Yanli?
Yes.
Okay, here's a notice to evict. Okay?
What?
It's your notice for. Put the knife
Get the
down right now.
get the fucking.
Put your knife down. Put
This is about to say I'm about to fucking shoot you.
Put the knife down right now. Put the knife down right now.
How do I know you are not an intruder?
One reason is he's not intruding on the house, so he's giving you a legal command to put the knife down. Real quick, let's do some commentary about this. This is the point where she's lucky he has not already shot her. If this were a man in Arizona, she would already be dead. She'd already be shot. I promise you the only reason this woman's alive is because she's a woman. At this point in the video, you cannot, like, he did not shoot her yet. He's given her a lawful order to put that knife down for his own safety. And yes, 100% police officers can tell you to put down a weapon for their own safety while they further investigate or while they are acting in furtherance of their official duties. In this case, delivering an eviction notice to someone is an official duty, typically of a sheriff's department in a county. And if you do that and someone puts a weapon, has a potential weapon in their hand, the police officer can ask them to put that weapon away. In fact, a police officer could go so far as to restrain the person temporarily in handcuffs to determine whether they have other weapons on them as a threat. This would be akin to like a Terry stop. Once there's a weapon there, once the police officer determines that he may be in danger. So this is a lawful order to put down the knife, and she needs to comply with this order or just close the door. But probably comply with the order. Just drop it. Just let it go. Let it go. All right, here we go.
15 out of 5, one at gunpoint. Code cover. Put the gun down, ma'am. I'm gonna shoot you. Put the gun down. Put the gun down or I will shoot you.
He's saying gun. By the way, this is a product that is often glossed in trials, especially on these things. His brain is no longer functioning at its normal upper level. He's in fight or flight mode. So he means knife. He knows she has a knife. He identified it as a knife initially. He's now saying gun because there's a gun in his hand and he's thinking, I need to defend myself potentially here. And he's elevated. He's no longer able to rationally or reasonably do things. He knows gun is a substitute word for danger in police speak. That's where he is. But he's still like he knows somewhere that it's a knife, but that somewhere's gone. Now you're in real fucking danger as the person because he might shoot her at any moment. I don't know how this turns out, by the way. So here we go.
15 Adam 5, code cover. One at gunpoint with a knife. Put the gun down right now. Put the gun down right now. Now, drop the knife.
I'm holding a knife. You are holding
Drop
a
the
knife.
knife, ma'am.
You are drop your
You will
knife.
get shot if you come at me with that knife. I will shoot you.
I'm not afraid.
Do you understand that?
I'm not coming.
Okay, I will shoot you. You understand? Put the knife down.
How did you get in?
Put the knife down.
How did you get into my
Put
building?
the knife down.
How did you get into my building?
I walked in. Put down the knife right
Where
now.
is the front desk?
Put down the knife right now. Ma'am, you will be shot. Do you
How did you get into my building? I walked in, bro. Again, at this point, it does not matter. Your life is more important than whatever weird dispute you have with this person. If you fear that this is an intruder, close the door. He hasn't come in. He hasn't advanced. Once the door is closed, you're not a threat because your knife is no longer a threat. Close the door. Even say, I'm not dropping the knife. I'm closing the door, and close the door. Or yell it, I closed door on you. Do that. Any of those solutions are fine. This guy can't just shoot you. He can't barge into her apartment. He had to knock. He had to get permission to deliver an eviction notice. He can't go in there.
understand that? Put down the gun or you will be shot.
How did you get in?
Drop the knife.
You are safe.
Drop the knife.
You are safe.
Ma'am, drop the knife.
Why you bite you?
You will be shot. Do you understand
Where
that?
is your bite you?
Ma'am, shh, drop the knife.
You have not even shown your bite you.
Don't-
And you poor guy.
You have not even shown a badger. Very important to show your badger when you are doing this. If you are going ahead and delivering an eviction notice, you always show your badger. Very, very important.
Just drop the knife. Don't make me shoot you. Drop the knife, please. Don't make me do this.
No, I'm not dropping.
Drop the knife now. Ma'am, I am not a fake police officer. Drop the knife. Drop the.
That's a stupid move by him. I don't know why he's insisting on kicking the door, like trying to get the door open. What are you doing? The danger is now over. You wait for your backup to arrive. So I'm going to give him 2 demerits for that. She's still far in the negative here, but he should not have tried to pursue it. You've delivered the eviction notice. It's been served upon her. She closed the door. Get the fuck out. Who cares if she has a knife? Leave.
15 out of 5. She's barricaded in 503.
She's barricaded. Who cares? It's an eviction notice. Was it an immediate eviction notice, I guess? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's an immediate eviction notice. I haven't seen the order, so I don't know.
Miss Lee, Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department. Can you open the door, please?
Homeboy should be holstering this weapon at this point. I mean, we're later in time. She's still through a door. I don't like that his weapon's drawn at this point.
I know, but... I got you. No.
I'm not a cop, by the way. I'm just giving my opinion on that. Like, I'm not saying that that's a legal requirement either way. I don't know if there's anything legally wrong with it. My personal opinion is if your aim is to de-escalate, he should be holstered. Because if she does open that door and sees him with the weapon drawn, she's going to immediately go right back into her angry mode and could put people in more danger.
Okay. Hey, this is the Sheriff's Department with the San Diego Police Department. We're both here. I need you to put the knife down and open the door.
And I can't tell, but judging by, like, since no one wears shirts this color, it looks like this guy's clearly identified as a sheriff, right? Like, he looks like he's in the same color as the other sheriff uniform. He looks like a sheriff deputy who's, again, sheriff deputies are often people who would serve an eviction notice.
We're not intruders, we're the police.
I don't like this part of the incident reports that they do where they add the narration. I wish they had the uncut video, but while waiting, the condo's manager and maintenance worker approached deputies. They said Lee threatened them with a knife while doing plumbing work at her unit the day before. Based on this reported crime, there was a threat to public safety. This is also probable cause to arrest Lee for assault with a deadly weapon. Maybe. I'm not sold on this probable cause line based on these guys saying they threatened them with a knife. What kind of threat? What does that mean? How does that work? It may be in there. The facts may be in there, but I'm not immediately sold on this, especially for someone who's being evicted from a building. Because it's really easy to accuse someone who's being evicted of a building to a crime so they get arrested, so they're easier to evict. So I'm not automatically sold on this because this is a summary and we don't have the actual facts. Deputy Jason Bunch. This remains the body camera perspective of Deputy Bunch, the first deputy on scene, the first deputy to enter Lee's unit. Okay. When the front door opens, deputies find Lee at her bedroom door holding a large chef knife. They ask Lee to drop the knife, but she refuses. The deputy deploys his less lethal beanbag, but Lee still refuses to comply.
Moving up.
So this is an immediate eviction order. There's no way they're going to be... Well, I guess since they believe they have probable cause to effect arrest. Deputies requested assistance from the San Diego Police Department's K-9 officer who was on scene. K-9 unit was called up to enter the unit as an additional less lethal option.
Miss Lee, can you hear me?
Dark. Show me your hands. Where you at?
Where you at? Sheriff Corbin!
Come out with your hands up. Come out with your hands up. Come out with your hands up. Beanbag, beanbag, beanbag.
Oh!
Your hands up. Get it. Get down. Get down. Drop the knife. Drop the knife.
Lee lunged at the deputies and officers with the knife. Lee stabbed the K-9 officer and was still charging at deputies. In response, 3 deputies and 1 officer discharged their firearms. So now we have Rogelio Medina. He is he was behind the K-9 handler who was stabbed. He also discharged his weapon.
Show me your hands. Where you at? Where you at?
Look at all these cops. There's a big boy there. Damn. I think the lady's hit. Second look at the body cam of Officer Medina showing Lee attempting to stab a deputy. So there's a super chat from Armagod says, why don't they leave? They should leave. And Nick, are you serious? Cops created that situation. I think I kind of mentioned that. I'm not sold on the probable cause for entry into the apartment at this point. However, once they are in there, you now have a person going at police officers with a knife, refusing to comply and putting down a weapon. I mean, this is a recipe to get shot. I'm surprised they took this long to shoot her, frankly. Okay, so this is a perspective from the body camera of David Williams. It shows less lethal options used during the contact inside. Commotion erupts as Lee charges the deputies and officers with a knife.
Miss Lee, can you hear me?
Start. Show me your hands. Where you at? Where you at? Search, Harvey. Hold on. I'm holding. Go. Hands. Let me see your hands. Hands up. Come on, your hands up. What about the dog?
Oh, damn. They got the pepper spray paintball gun up here. He just deployed a beanbag. Let's see. I mean, you can't run at cops with a knife and expect to leave with all of your body intact. Here's body camera of Sergeant Daniel Nickel. He's in the hallway when everyone stumbled out.
What's on again?
There's almost no way these cops are not going to get. I mean, someone could get prosecuted in theory for this, but there's no way they'd be found guilty. Especially when you have an actual stabbing occur, right? Like, there's no way. This will be legally justified all day. Whether it's morally justified, whether the cops acted properly, different questions.
Move into the apartment so there's a way to get in. Watch the dog.
Fuck. She got stabbed with bullets. Oh. Oh, she was leaking quite a bit. It's like a squishy toy with holes in it. Just he was treated and released from UCSD Medical Center. So she's dead. So there you go. I mean, again, I'm just these are the types of situations where we have to ask what level of force is required, right? What level of force do we want in our police interactions with the citizenry? Because by the rules, pretty simple. If you stick a knife in a police officer, you're going to get aired out. Like, you're going to be shot and killed. 9 times out of 10. They're not going to tolerate stabbing a police officer. Especially if you keep coming like that, they're going to shoot you. But could the situation have been avoided prior to the stabbing? Probably. Did that order need to be executed then? Should they have come back with SWAT? Should they have given her an hour, 2 hours to calm down? Should they have given a day for it to calm down? But it also, the other question is, at what point, how do you evict someone if not eventually with force, right? Because you can deliver eviction notices all day and someone just says, fuck you, I'm staying. Well, we can't, that's not acceptable either, right? Because at some point, that's not their property. But I'm still I have problems with their probable cause for entry. But as for criminal liability, I don't think you're going to find any. With a stabbed officer, I didn't see anything in that video that would be criminally liable for cops. Civil liability, maybe. Maybe you got a case that her civil rights were being violated. There wasn't sufficient probable cause to enter the apartment, things like that. Those are all things you could argue for a wrongful death case against the city. Good luck and Godspeed. That's going to be a tough one. But we also don't know what's in the order, right? An eviction notice could be 30-day, 15-day, 7-day to quit. Or it could be that she's received several notices to quit and this is the day she had to go. And that's why the sheriff is there saying, you need to get out. Here's a document. It's from a court. You've been ordered to get the fuck out or I have to arrest you. Without seeing those documents, we don't know about their justification for being there as much. We can only speculate. So, but she's out of the apartment now. She sure didn't last very long in that one. Rumble username Suck says cops overreacted at just about every point between when she closed the door and when she tried to stab one. But at some point she was probably going to get shot given that she wouldn't drop the knife. Yeah. Yeah. Tragic situation. Again, an unnecessary death. Both sides of that equation have some questionable decisions. Some of the officers are going to, carry that with them, right? Woman's dead at their hands. Many of them probably didn't want to shoot someone that day. Some of them may have. I don't know them. But you would presume that most of them are like, maybe I don't want to kill someone today. It's a safe presumption. Okay. Let's do the rest of the super chats. St. Greenpack says, as someone who was groomed and had a family member abused, the Damon Mills situation is horrifying, especially since our attacker won in court. F life. Yeah, that's when your attacker wins, man. It is just, it's demoralizing. Howdy Doodly, Champion the Diddly Doodler, says there was a tweet that went with that. Yeah, I know, but that was Jack Murphy's anus. Ryan English says, if your arms are still in that much need of exercise, you're not beating your kids hard enough. Crisper says, fellow non-Jewish large nose Lankets rise up. Smart Geek 97 says, did Nick talk about Damon X Toye yet? I haven't really talked too much about. Look, I'll summarize Ron Toye's involvement in the Damon Mills situation. Ron Toye, unsurprisingly, supports a kid fucker. Ron Toye is an abuser. I've said this and I will maintain this forever. Ron Toye is an abuser. His personality is that of an abuser. He has never not been an abuser in any interaction I've seen. He says he's put in the work. I've changed. I'm reformed. His behavior towards people is that of a habitual and perpetual abuser. He is a person who has contacted people's parents in work because of words that they say on Twitter. He has contacted police. He asked his lawyer how much it would cost to defend him for an aggravated assault charge in Minnesota because he meant to come to my house and assault me. Ron Toye, because of words, by the way, Ron Toye is an abuser. He has a trail of victims. And he is an awful, unstable person. Despite his facade, despite his little, I read 2 books a week or whatever garbage he claims. He's just talking about reading his own tweets, but he's an abuser. He will remain an abuser, and he will side with abusers. It's that simple. If you want the biggest evidence of Vic not being an abuser, it's that Ron's against him. So, Contrarian 420 says uncivil law should be fixed. Neutered. Nick Ricada, 3/15/2022, 11:41 p.m. CDT. Leo Manier says, I am saying this under duress. Gunblade Night. says, are you going to talk about Matthew Doloff's charges being dropped? Who the fuck is Matthew Doloff? Is that the cop who shot Micaiah Bryant? Oh, no. Who the fuck is this? Oh, the Antifa. The Antifa guy. What do you want? What do you want? That liberal district attorneys funded by George Soros are fucking commies? I mean, I don't know. Oh, wait, no. This is a different one. This is a different one than I'm thinking of. As Keltner sprayed a cloud of mace at Doloff, Doloff fatally shot him. That day, Keltner and his son were heavily armed. Keltner's son deliberately targeted a black man in a confrontation, threatened to cut his racial slur up. He carried several knives illegally, according to Doloff's defense attorneys. Let's see. Denver District Court judge ruled information about Keltner's background isn't relevant in Doloff's trial for now. Working at private security for 9 News, though reporting by the Denver Gazette has revealed he did not have a license to work as a security guard in Denver. He now faces a second-degree murder charge and is claimed to self-defense. Wait, when the fuck was this article? It was updated March 10th. So wait, I'm not remembering how this played out. Let's see. Charges dropped against unlicensed security guard who shot man at rally. Okay. Oh, this is a weird one. This is where the news station hired the guy. Yeah. Lee Keltner facing off for the deadly shooting. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I only barely remember this story. Okay. Well, who knows? It's dropped. No, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't fucking remember the whole story. Tyrannageist read that one. Howdy Doodly Champion the Diddly Doodler says, just picked up a bottle of Jameson IPA. Not bad. Dylan Stark. Today's my anniversary with my wife who has cancer. Read that one. Plead the Fifth says, can we watch Ralph when/if he is on You Are Here? I'm very excited to see Ralph stand next to Elijah and Sydney just for the height perspectives. Maybe we can. We'll have to think about it. Digitalis says, bad toast. Do it again. Tenjin Ken. Hey, Nick, can you read the last few super chats backwards? No particular reason. I just think the Vic news is soy. Si, Swen, Kiv, Knick, Touch, I, No, Sir, Ralukitar, On, Stalquab, Stack, Repus, Wef, Tisal, Et, Deer, Ui, Knack, Kin. Yeah. No, I'm not reading that all backwards. Holy shit, that was annoying. Russell Coaster says Anime Central is in Rosemount, Illinois, and is 2 or 3 largest anime and Japanese culture con in the United States. Oh, I'm not going to any anime convention without an assurance from the anime con that I can actually show up. A lot of people, a lot of cons don't want me there. AWM Fishing and Gaming says, help Larry write a novel based on the Unbreaded Manifesto would be a funny live stream. Thanks again, Nostradamus. Craig Walker, thanks for the donation. King Crabcake says, hey, Nick, need you to shame me for not putting out vids constantly. Don't want to be known as, oh, that's where you find the Unbreaded video channel. Lol. King Crabcakes, get to fucking work. Make content, bruh. Just embarrassing. Dan sent me a hedgehog. Thank you. Walter Mellon says, search YouTube critical incident video, Little Italy SD Sheriff. We just watched it. Crass Cat says, hey, Nick, I drove my parents to the airport today so they can fly to Romania and help the Ukrainian refugees. Can you keep them in your prayers? Yes, and I hope they bring you back a hot Ukrainian waifu. Real Hydro PX says, Nick, my knee grows. You're my favorite YouTubers besides Nate Higer. Whoever that is. STFU says, like a stubborn limp or an alley cat, uncivil law is back. Cave Kingdom says, it's my 39th birthday, Nick. I ask that you read a couple lines of Unbreaded as Slowpoke Rodriguez. Oh, shit. Here you go. The enemy to this day uses Binger music directly to insult Binger, to rob Binger of energy that is priceless. The enemy directly to this day uses Binger music to insult Binger and pretends it's comedic. They pretend to put humor in rap. They pretend to put humor in movies about things you are not funny. They pretend to stand next to Binger as your buddy while they insult you. There you go. I hope that was happy birthday, man. Pied Piper says, I won't be happy until Chris Sabat and the Toxic Funny crew get the justice they deserve. Ferret on the Rock says, how many whales make a pod? 2 is enough, right? I think so. Chris Friday, Canabro doesn't want to go to his sentencing. Nothing to eat there. He knows he's going away forever. Why bother? I saw a headline. It was like, why Chandler Halderson not attending his own sentencing might be really bad for him. Might be really bad for him. He shot and chopped up his parents. He's going to prison for life with no parole. Laughing Dog says, my own dad used to say your people on St. Patrick's Day. Ready to Kill says, gonna chug this 1.75 liter vodka to wipe that TikTok from memory. DCV Titan says, get the flamer, brother. The heavy flamer. Already have it, I think. Joseph Fazio says, you want to slop Mills? Easy. Bother Sony like a psycho. Phone calls, emails, tweets, FB posts, a relentless onslaught on every level, and he'll fall. I don't want to do any of that. Personally. Not my thing. Svenger McSpazzy says, if we hedge fund a PI on Mills, how many skeletons do you think we could dig up? They'd all be underage. C. Goody says, from Ryan, the editor, honest question, if appeals come back in Vic's favor, could the stuff with Damon be used to show that they targeted Vic harshly and quickly? No. No, I mean, there's no way to prove that they acted one way at one time and acted a different way at a different time. It's a different time. It's different people involved. It's different everything. They also had some negative fallout from how they acted with Vic. It would be perfectly reasonable for them to take a different approach to someone else. We know they didn't do that, but it would be reasonable. So no, there's nothing there. Talos Saphirian says, hey, Nick, thank you for all the positive vibes and comedy. Today? Really? Okay. About to finish my master's, and I do not think I would have been able to finish it without the fun during the day with the panels and nights of fun. Cheers. A thank you. Thank you. Polar Bear says, Nick, as a person of the Mexican persuasion, I hereby grant you permission to wear a sombrero when you use the Mexichan accent. In fact, I encourage it. Keep up the good work. Snuggle Struggle says, but rackets, Vic ate a jelly bean. This cannot go unpunished. Albatross says, the parents allowed their child to share the bed with some random adult. Yeah, that's a weird problem for me as well in the Duncan situation. Doesn't excuse Damon being a kid toucher. 200 Watt Studio says, is there a new episode, The Monica and Jamie Show? Nope. Lamer5799 says, in my religion, rape is punishment with impalement. like Vlad the Impaler Dracul. Smart Geek 97, can you cover Mills saying the N-word twice? I was looking for those tweets and I can't find them. Someone sent them to me the other day and I just can't find them. Wait a minute. I gotta check one more place. Where the fuck is my Twitter page? Was it here? No. Man, I do not remember where that tweet is. Let's see. Yep. No, I don't have it handy. Again, somebody sent it to me. Thank you. But I just can't find out where it is. Fuck. Okay, whatever. Too long. Navasa says, I am being booted from the Navy because no jab, no job. Should SCOTUS rule that the military was wrong to discriminate against those with religious convictions, Lutheran? What would be the next steps? Well, if you can determine that you're wrongfully terminated because of a religious exemption that failed to happen, I mean, then you could potentially get reinstated, I guess, with back pay. I guess that would be the next steps, and it'd be to hire a lawyer. But SCOTUS would have to do that first. Doesn't look like, I don't think they're going to be inclined to do that, honestly. Timothy Rathel says, channel is great. Live stream is great. I don't agree 100% of the time. You are a great dude. Thanks for the great content. Keep it up. Hey, thanks, Timothy. Golden Queen Gaming says, nice try, Boomer. You're not going to stop me from becoming a Ghidorah Monster Girl VTuber. Chat, we have failed. One more. We have failed. Joseph Fazio says, I must lick Frank Drebin. Jay Carlos, hey, could you shout out my son Armand? He's 6 and listens with me. He's a big fan, so I'd appreciate it if you gave him a touchdown on paper unbreaded. Hey, Armand, buddy, I hear you are a budding 6-year-old, and for some reason, your dad loves you enough to break all sanity and let you listen to this show. So if you're out there, touchdown on paper, unbreaded. That's for you, Armin, man. Stay cool. Your dad sounds like a cool dude. Sketch EM says nose or balls above or below the hole. Gaku says this is why you use Monero, not Bitcoin. Same issue. Same issues coming. Same issues are coming from everywhere. Jar Jar King says, take my money, Law Daddy. Keep up the good work. You and the panel are a beacon of light in these dark and trying times. Shadow Fenrir 24 says, I was eating nuggies when you played that eldritch horror of a video of Mills. I wanted to puke and burn my eyes with the power of 1,000 suns. Not applicable. It's passive resistance or civil war. Find solutions. Artemis Treese says, crypto coin, 21st century snake oil, reverse engineer rules. Blue-eyed Roof, Korean the base, been saying we got to take out bankers in this chat for the last year. Finally, you see it my way. God and a jury could understand being preemptive. Now, I don't know if taking out bankers is the solution, but I've been saying the banks are a problem for a lot longer than just this year. Joel Valdez, I read that one. Serial Foxity, where can I download the glorious Unbreaded on Audible? Don't think it exists. Not applicable. Impoverished and Afro build. Artemis Treese. Oh, wait. Dee Thomas says coworker interrupted the Unbreaded. So pissed. Missed it all. Oh, God, that sucks. That sucks. Sorry, man. Jonathan Wiseman says, thank you for the daily Unbreaded Deacon Ricada. Oh, no, I'm a deacon? Does that mean I'm going to murder for hire an NBA player? Shit. Artemis Treese says, 1 black hat equal crypto coins plus death. Andrew Clark says, Google Lady Spooktacular. face when Nick jokes. What the fuck? The hell are you talking about? Lady Spooktacular. Fuck is this? Is this a dude? The fuck is this? Why does it look like it have balls? I mean, is that what's her face? The toy is suspicious. I'm not. But is that Elizabeth Olsen? The non-toy? Toy's fucking weird. You guys want to see what I'm talking about? Like, I mean, okay. Here. Fuck is happening? This is a scale collectible figure, okay? There's some suspicious bulging happening here. I'm not comfortable with. I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't trust that bulge. I don't like it. I'm very fucking confused about that. It's a knockoff figure of Scarlet Witch. Why does it look like it has a penis? I don't know. Okay. Anyway. I'm pressing X to doubt on it. Philip Juperi says, why do you intentionally avoid the Dune novels? I just don't have fucking time. I haven't read any novels in. The last one I read was Luther from Warhammer. The other issue with the Dune novels specifically is that it's got its own language, and I'm already in Warhammer language. So I have to like deprogram and reprogram for Dune. It's fucking annoying. I'm sure they're great, but I don't have time. Envious Gaming says, haven't seen a live stream for over a year due to my jobs and personal reasons, but glad to join. Looking forward to a Vic update. Scarlock says, Badgers, we don't need no stinking Badgers. Blue-eyed Roof Korean, the base says, no black boxes for Lee. So much for Stop Asian Hate. Wolfgang Deo, Kamala Harris violated the U.S. Constitution, Amendment 14, Section 3, and thus was avoided as a candidate in summer of 2020. Hashtag Democrats get wrecked, and YouTube too. I'm not sure how she did that. American Legend says, effing disgrace to the police force. Tunderwatch Studio says, was the police dog okay? She was a monster. Yeah, I don't think the dog actually ever got to her. Not Applicable says he wanted revenge. She definitely helped him, though. Fat Cat 112C. Thank you for the donation. It's a Crying Shame says, so we all started blasting. Tunderwatch Studio says she was heard saying, with that you get egg roll. God, I fucking want egg rolls. I'm so hungry. Wolfgang Deo says toast to Putin for losing his SAR card. CC, aren't they trained for hand-to-hand and grappling and movement control and all that? Appropriate force. I mean, how many 200-pound men were running from that 100-pound woman with a knife? Popper, done, FFS. I mean, saying they're trained for grappling and movement control kind of goes out the window when there's a knife, though. Like, honestly, I mean, I remember my buddy this isn't quite the same, but it's not that different either. My buddy was trained in control from campus security and any level of jujitsu training, which as an Asian, she definitely has lots of martial arts training automatically bred into her. But any level of like jujitsu training and their movement training was a joke. So I don't know. Deg says the eviction notice was for this mortal plane, not the apartment. Crusader says, gee whiz, son, that crazy girl got evicted from life. Wolfgang, all cops are land pirates. Blue-eyed Roof Korean, the base says, if only Lee knifed bankers, used her powers for good. Not applicable. If Ron supports Damon, now he needs to neck himself. William Barnes, Ron Toye, how much to get me out of an assault charge in Minnesota for beating up Nick? Lawyer, free. He'll shoot you dead. No charges pressed. Sharon Young, my husband's percussion teacher from college died of pancreatic cancer a couple days ago, and we just heard rip Rob Schoolfield, an inspiration. He will be missed. He was my husband's mentor in college. Damn. Sorry to hear that, Sharon. Torberin, welcome to lawyer status. Talos Cephirian. Oh, wait, I read that one. Dylan Aruto says, who's Vic? Vic Mignogna. Anime voice actor Vic Mignogna. Gawker's Death Rattle says truck BTC should have been put through mixer / obfuscator. Train of 26 says, wouldn't a nightstick have de-escalated the situation much better than a gun? Like, again, without commenting on the rest of the behavior, bitch, you run at me with a knife and I will shoot you. That's the end of the day. I have no time to get stabbed by anybody. I will not sit there and be fucking stabbed. 200 Watt Studio says she had just retired from being a ninja last week. Wrestler Town, I have a black belt in grappling with knives. You can never be trained to do it well enough. It's pure emergency stuff. You're going to get cut bad. Yep. Especially a big knife like that. Shit. Yeah, I'm not getting fucking stabbed for anything if I can avoid it. Rumble username sucks says Pantifa go to the same place as Maps, but I repeat myself. Also, the Pinkerton shot that fat guy in response to slap because the Pinkerton tried to take his gun. Ralph on You Are Here, gonna be worse than Jack. AWOP says, notice me, senpai. What's up? I see you, a wop. There you go, guys. That's the show. It's a very, very unbreaded show tonight. Whew. Oh my God. I am exhausted. But it's time to go over and play a little bit of Elden Ring before bed. So, is Ralph actually going on You Are Here? I think so. I think that's the thing. I don't know if they've confirmed it, but that was they said it was going to happen. So we'll have to see. April 1st. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Sorry about the black pills. Sometimes I've eaten too many of them. 200 Watt Studio says after pulling the knife, she wasn't going to walk. Very good. Very good. I'm going to go make a triple decker sandwich because I got breaded in my house before the show. Suck It says Branka did a whole video on the Denver shooting. Very cool. People can check that out. All right, guys. If you come over to Twitch, we'll have fun. Otherwise, see you tomorrow. Trial coverage is going to start around 10. It might be as late as 11, and I might use that to catch up during breaks because it's kind of boring and the trial's really early. It's not super early, but it's earlier than I want it to be. And I really don't want to give up my leisure time for a boring ass trial. So We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, guys. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitter and Erlang. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lethbrook. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law